It's case 1893. Oh, I didn't get your hat.
You got my pen? You got my, no. Oh, good. That's the one. Okay. Highlighted. Put my name on it.
Oh, yeah, that's just when they were setting the thing up.
And it doesn't revert back to the previous page. Okay. Yeah.
Carolyn should be done.
Okay.
Are we rolling here?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So opening hearings for the day. Today is July 29th. Do we have a quorum?
We do have a quorum today.
All right. So we're ready for
Okay.
first hearing.
Are we doing okay?
Yeah, he took the day off. His daughter and grandson are here from out of town.
Be in the chair there at the end.
Okay,
This
great.
is
Good
Kenneth
morning.
Fuller.
Morning.
Morning. All right, I'll do it.
Good.
Just keep the coffee coming.
Opening a hearing on case ID 2021-1893, account number 17028. So we've got some administration to go through before we get started. So some questions for you along the way here.
So a protest is Q1 incorrect appraised market value and Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds median level of appraisal or equity value.
Okay, so Q1 and Q2. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today, the three of us.
Okay.
We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. Or you can get it from the folks here. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate your feedback. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In a week or two, you'll get a packet of information in the mail, U.S. mail. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Have you turned in all your evidence?
Yes.
Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. Start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear I'm not communicating with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
Okay. All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So if you'll state your name and.
Okay, Kenneth Michael Fuller. And I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, thank you.
I request you I solemnly swear or affirm that testimony I shall present to the appraisal board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay. Mr. Fuller, do you have an appraiser's license? Hold an appraiser's license?
No.
Okay. On the table right beneath your tablet there's a piece of paper under the Mylar, or that one there, yeah. So you get to choose whether you speak first or the district speaks first.
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay,
That's good.
all right. We'll follow those times. So
So you have 5 minutes.
Okay. The information that I've got is listed on the protest form. I'll hold it. Hopefully,
Taxpayer evidence.
taxpayer evidence.
There's a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So
no. got yours? No.
It's listed on our form number.
What's the case number, guys?
1893.
518, so it's right here.
Okay, it's taxpayer evidence number 2.
Number 2. Okay,
Right there, we'll
got that.
so start there. That's where I'll start. Begin with, yeah, I bought this house in 2005, so I've been a resident there for going on 16 years.
Okay.
And it's a small house, and it's 31 years old, so it's not real old, but it's not real new, so I'm in between. But we enjoy living there, and yeah, we like the city. So, anyway, yeah, I've got 3 areas of concern that I think require action from the ARB.
Okay.
And the first is cleaning up the CAD drawing and description and the property card.
Property card, yeah.
Property card or the appraisal card. Second is I've got a 12-year-old HVAC system that I think should be considered under the improvements as far as the appraisal is concerned. I'm not planning on replacing it, and I'll go into a little detail when we get to that part. And then lastly, I'm looking to make sure that we're receiving an appraisal assessment that is equal to our neighbors with the Salt Lake waterfront properties on Coconut Ridge Road. It goes, I think, goes back to the area tables. Okay, so I know that was discussed earlier this week. I saw some of your YouTube meetings. Okay, so those are the areas of concern. As far as the cleanup is involved, on page 2, I've got some drawings taken from the appraisal card, and the first issue that I've got is that there's 70 square feet of building in the drawing that does not exist.
Okay.
I've got a picture of it. This is the back of the house. It fronts the lake, and apparently, whenever the drawings were submitted to the district, this little section that's highlighted in yellow, was drawn in, and it doesn't exist.
Okay.
And then secondly, there's another section under the house that is listed as living space. It's counted in the square footage
Okay.
of living area. It has no HVAC. It's not finished, and it's not livable space. I'm currently storing fishing equipment, boat accessories, tools, paint, maintenance items, and a number of other beer, whatever. But anyway, that doesn't exist, and I think for all intents and purposes, it should be listed as garage under or storage, some sort of storage area, something like that.
Okay.
So those are 2 cleanup items, and I put estimated tax values and what should be reduced on there, and for each item there. I've got pictures of the storeroom down below on the next page, and then just take a look at the action that would be required. I'm looking to reduce the total square footage from 1216 to 1020, just based upon what should be.
Okay.
And then we need to deduct $3,509 from the improvement values of the house. So that takes care of concern number 1. Okay, concern number 2 is I've got a 12-year-old HVAC, and I'm not planning on replacing it. I've gotten bids from AirServe Coastal to bring it up and extend the life of the unit. I'm going to spend $1,100 to do that. I'll try to get at least 1 more year out of it. That does not include the balance of this year, which hopefully will be seeing that end here shortly as far as the warm weather. But I will be looking at putting a 20-SEER rating AC in, and I've got some bids and proposals attached to this page, for that from Aransas.
Okay, I'm gonna need to stop you for a minute because your time is up, but you'll have some more time to talk to address some the rest of these items, okay?
Yeah.
Just kind of remember where you're at there.
Okay.
Um,
Ray, you got 7 minutes total.
Yeah, so the appraisal district agrees with the changing the MA to SU. We agree with, for sure, with deleting that little back rectangle behind me, what would be an SU.
Mhm.
That shouldn't be there. That's not a problem. We are of the opinion that the couple of things about the air conditioner, it would be our opinion that the depreciation for the home captures this issue. And that most people around here have, it doesn't take long before you need a new air conditioner in South Texas.
I'm told 7 to 8 years is average life.
Yeah, they don't last long. They're in the salt air with the metal components and kind of soft metal components. I get it. But we believe that that it's caught up in the depreciation of the home.
Well, then can you flip over to this page? Because I guess I don't really understand.
Let me, yes,
Yeah,
you'll have a chance and I'll try to answer for sure.
I don't want to dwell on it very long. But,
No, it's okay. Let me just, two things were under protest that we need to
Yes.
knock out real quick here from our point of view. On the sales grid, again, this home is on Pocono Ridge. If you guys remember, if you want to kind of put this in your head, a couple of days ago, you guys heard Harold King, I think was his name, maybe.
Yes.
This is the neighbor. They're right,
Okay.
right. Y'all are pretty close to each other.
Right.
anyways. So we're wrapping around Pocono Ridge Road and we're on the lake, not on the bay. Right by Don Drive. Pocono Ridge. So from a sales comparison approach, we have 282 on the subject. And we have a median sales value of 307. And we get there by comping home sale on Ridge Harbor and 2 home sales on Ridge Harbor, actually. Both fours, both around 1,200 square feet. And they comp out to 280 and 366. They sold for 300 and for 418. And then comp 3 and 4 is sell on dead ends and a sell on Pocono Ridge Road. The sell on Pocono Ridge Road is kind of a crummy comp because it's a 2019 build. I don't think we had to add that. If I take that comp out, let me see what changes it. 280, 266. No, it actually raises the median value. All right, that's fine. So the median value from a sales comparison approach is 307. Equity wise, let's see what we did here. We got a 4 and a 4, close on square footage, somewhat close on age. Let's see, 285, 307. Then the next 2 comps are both class 4s, 300 square feet, 1,400 square feet. Close on age. They're good comps, come out to 306. The reality is here is most of the homes in Pocono Ridge are valued at over $300,000. So this is going to comp out low. And I'm going to I want to give you guys an opinion about, I think I saw something in Mr. Fuller's evidence that he's going to end up talking about on his, I'll give the district stance here, is we don't believe that this lot is deep enough to have a water view element. We think it's too squanched up. It's just simply waterfront. And that there's not really a water view element to this. The water view element is designed for people who have a narrow lot and there's a back portion that we don't want to attribute to that higher value, or it kind of blows up the value. It really starts pushing you to, as an appraisal district, what should have been done years ago was this should have been valued on a front foot. instead of trying to figure out the value of two tables and confusing everybody. Years ago, it should have just been front footage.
But we're still square footage here.
We are, and he's surrounded by people who have square footage, and some of them have that extra table that's a water view mixed in with their waterfront because their lots are narrow basically, or they, it's a little bit messed up. But I'm just giving y'all my opinion now during my 7 minutes. So
Most of those lots are 60 feet wide.
yeah, but the depths change.
Right.
That's the
It's
thing that's
mixed.
weird. Yeah, it's mixed. That's a good way to say it. Yes.
And
So because of that, it would have been better at some point if we would have just said, this is how much waterfront foot you have linear, and then develop a schedule.
agree with you. You've got, different
Yeah.
ways of looking at it in different subdivisions, and I'm hung up in that between unit 2 and unit 3, and
Yes, sir.
so it's put me at a disadvantage, tax wise.
Potentially, but well,
I'm not saying it's fair or it's not fair, but there are other people that are being appraised at a lower value than I would be.
well, so far, just in seeing your stuff, what I see is wrong is that should have never been called an MA underneath. That's an SU, but it looks like it always has been. There's obviously not a porch there, and I think your house is obviously in a Coconut Ridge. It's going to sell for more than we have on it already.
And I haven't priced anything.
Yeah, I understand. But go ahead. I'm done with my time.
Okay, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and another 2 minutes to offer rebuttal. So I'll give you 4 minutes to talk however you want.
All right. I'm just looking at the appraisal card, and I'm not real sure how to read it as far as value is concerned. So it would be helpful to see where that AC might be covered in depreciation. I know
It's
that
on
you've got an adjusted value, you've got a value, and then you've got an improvements total.
Yeah, so the depreciation in your account is at 0.73. So your structure, your home is 27% depreciated,
Okay.
73% good. And your bill date and your effective date, the 1990 to 1990, are the same thing.
Okay.
Typically, that would change if we felt like there was a remodel event. You would change your effective age, which would then change your depreciation.
All right. So as far as the adjusted value, that covers depreciation.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And so as far as the value is concerned, you've got 131 to 130. And then up at the top, I've got improvements of 132 to 190. So
Well, we have.
I'm thinking that's, I'm at 100% of.
Well, it's actually this number right here. It all adds up to 94,000,
Right.
and then 94,000 gets multiplied by 1.4.
Okay. So that's where you come up with
Yeah,
130.
we're adding an extra 40% to Coconut Ridge
Okay.
because we can't keep up with the market.
So that's where the 47% increase.
Yes, that's us trying to keep. In a way, if you looked at it from a mathematical standpoint, this is all costs, just how much it costs to build
Mhm.
and depreciation. And this one number right here is what's used to take cost into market,
Okay.
into what people buy. Yeah, what people build versus what people buy.
Okay, I got it. So I understand that. All right, so anyway, I guess the air conditioner would obviously have an impact on the market value, and it is what it is. The next, I guess the next slide here is the air surge, but you can skip that. Next slide is exactly what you were talking about as far as the land value appraisal. I'm unequal, when I compare myself to other properties on Salt Lake, the waterfront properties on Coconut Ridge Road. There's 4 different subdivisions there. There's Lakeside, there's Coconut Ridge Unit 2, Coconut Ridge Unit 3, and there's also Point Bonita, Coconut Ridge Fort Bonita. Okay, and I've got examples of those on attachment, but anyway, the values are different, the way it's being appraised is different, and it puts me at a real disadvantage as far as cost is, or the appraisal cost is concerned for the land. I'm being appraised at $146,000 for, you know, my waterfront, and other land, other properties are being appraised at waterfront and water view. And that the cutoff that you're using is 100 effective feet as far as the depth. Anything above 100 feet goes to water view. I have 130 feet of effective depth. So I'm saying 30 feet. If I were in unit 2, which is a house over from me, 30 feet is $35,000 to me. So I don't think that's fair to appraise me differently from the other properties. You either do it one way or the other, or if you want to change it, go to frontage and appraise it that way. But don't penalize me for being in a different area, in a different appraisal area. Anyway, I've got some examples. I know that you have already reviewed this in the previous meeting, and I would just ask you to consider that and appraise me no different than these other properties as far as my land value is concerned.
Okay, we're gonna need to stop you for a minute there for a moment. You'll have just another opportunity to talk. Ray, you've got a minute to close.
Yeah, I appreciate the work that you've done here. Mr. Fuller has done a very good job. Here's something that I would like to just sort of frame, if I could, in closing, is that again, we agree with this MA going to SU. We agree, obviously, with deleting that little rectangle. All of that's on board. This land thing, there's something going on here that I just want to point out. One is Mr. Fuller is not being unreasonable. He's being very reasonable. His new land value, if you look at his own evidence, 117,525. My opinion is that that's not right. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I don't think that there's a water view portion to his account. However, he's right. There are water view portions to people's accounts all through Copano Ridge. And he said that he's measured out that we did that at 100 feet, and he's got 130 feet. He's done the math and he's done the work. Again, I appreciate his reasonableness here. Just want to say that because I think that it's very level-headed. So again, it's not anything that I'm going to do. I'm not going to apologize for our land table confusion. I would like the person who platted Copano Ridge to apologize to us for the way that they drew that place out, and then making us deal with it here. So that's all I have.
Okay, you have a minute to close, right? Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got another issue here as far as the bulkhead, and this is probably another issue that you've heard before. If you'll move down beyond the tables I've got there, well,
On the same page,
it's further down.
but I mean on the same
Yeah.
document.
So this bulkhead value appraisal.
You just got a few seconds here.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
You get to that.
What's your deal on the bulkhead?
Well, I've got pictures of the bulkhead, and materials are the same. It's no different. The same bulkhead. I'm being appraised at $60 a square foot, or it's not a square foot, but it's a foot. And my neighbors are 40 and 43. All I ask is, it needs to be reduced. Using the middle value. There's no reason there's no reason for, for me to be different than them, same book yet. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then, lastly, all I want is something that's fair, to me. I mean, you want to raise everybody else's, appraisal, land appraisal to, the way you evaluate mine, that's fair. I can appreciate that. If you want to go by foot, that's fair. But don't penalize me, because I'm next door to unit 2. I'm no different. My neighbor's, land is no different than mine. So, that's all I got to say.
Okay. Ray, I said closing, but that was a rebuttal, so you have a minute. Do you have anything else?
That's all I had to say.
Okay.
Okay, Scott, can we see the changes to value if you do 3 things? Reduce the Ray, I understood you to say you agree with reducing the,
It would be changing the FF bulkhead 3 to FF bulkhead 2.
okay,
That will change that dollar per front foot from 60 to 40.
okay.
No problem with that. I don't know why it's set up that way. It just is.
Okay, that takes it FF to bulkhead 2.
I think so, sir.
Okay, that takes it to 50.
Oh, 1. He said 40. So the median would be 40 in this case. So it'll be 1.
Okay, 1 is 40. That takes it down to 2780.
Okay, then we need to, the underneath storage, it's called main area, we
Needs
need
be
to,
an SU.
it's you,
Correct.
Okay, the 196 feet
Mhm.
storage. Okay, I'm gonna change that.
And then on that garage, we don't need to go in and edit the account drawing. It'll take too long.
Okay.
Scott, just correct it manually to the correct square footage, which I think was 5 something. I saw it in his evidence. He knows the numbers, like 532, or he already did the math of what that garage.
196.
Just an FYI on it, that the storage under that raised the value because we had that as a
Oh, it
one,
was a
we had that as a
1SS.
1SS. Just so you know.
We'll deal with that in a second. Is today the 29th?
Yes.
Not a lot, but it just very slightly.
The garage under is 602
Square feet?
square feet,
That's the correct amount?
602.
Okay, that's what it should be, is 602.
That's,
That's where we have it as.
that's
602.
where it's listed.
But what's the correct number?
We just, you'd add 196 to that.
No, you would add, no, on the garage under, it would be less than 602.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
am I just taking the tail off of it there?
You just-
Okay, I'll just take the tail off and see what it does.
All right, the main area is 196. Yeah, okay, you're talking about the,
That little sliver.
we just back off 70 square feet,
Oh, okay, there you go.
532.
532, yeah.
And then we change the rating and the description of the main area. I don't know if that changes anything as far as the, yes, it depends upon how you classify that main area.
Yeah. He said if he changed it to garage under, since it's currently set as an MA main area with a 1SS rating.
We're gonna raise your value.
Yeah, if you change it to garage under, it would actually increase because there's not a,
Okay, garage under is 2905 on this unit price. And the main area is 3391 on the unit price.
I think what it's gonna do is it's
Yeah, so you remove that
going
70
to
feet
change
there.
the depreciation.
70 square feet,
That
okay.
one
That's
SS
what I
makes
did.
things-
Okay.
makes the
Then this
depreciation
here,
faster. So it just,
okay, and that's what raised
matrix. We'll take a look.
from MA 1SS.
So 532 square feet is what we're on the garage.
Yes,
And that other piece is named to SU. And so where are we now? What else?
Just tell us what the new value is.
Okay, the new value is improvement value is 133,140.
That's not gonna work.
It's actually raising. it
Yeah,
a little bit.
right.
You can't do that.
Well,
So-
when you take something out of MA,
So put it back into MA as a 1SS. That can't be done right now. It's gonna raise its value. What it's gonna do is it's gonna attribute that SU to the class of the MA. And it's gonna drive its
The
value off
upstairs.
of the 4FB.
Yeah, right.
That's where contributory items get their value off of the main.
Yeah.
The MA 1SS is about the lowest value item in our software.
Okay.
So,
and it also redoes the MA as lower square footage, so the dollars per square foot
Yeah.
go up
it's gonna cause a problem.
for economy of size.
And that's why the
I
square
mean,
footage
it is what it is.
doesn't
It's
work.
1,020 square feet.
The house,
The house, you know, the livable area is 1,020
square feet, yeah.
It's a small house.
So the other thing that could be done, Scott,
Uh-huh.
is put it as an SU. Go back to that.
Okay, you can put it as an SU,
Yes, no, yeah, like an SU1 or SU2 or something like that. See what it does.
SU3
What is
takes it
that?
to $1,400.
There you go, do that. That's appropriate. I mean, in this case, we gotta get away through the weeds. So what an SU3 does is it makes it not value itself off of the MA. We're telling it to act like this is some sort of standalone structure.
Okay, so this takes our land to 148,840 and the structure to 129,560 for a total of 278,400. With those changes.
Okay, and he's,
Was there any other change, Ray, that you were going to suggest
That was all
related?
I had.
What was the discussion about water view versus
Well,
water
that's the
front?
discussion that I disagree, that me and Mr. Fuller disagree on that one. We just disagree.
Okay.
So,
always sucks to be the first house in a,
yeah,
on a-
no, that's why I was
Chain
saying
land
that,
table,
that's
but,
why I was saying
yeah.
that Mr. Fuller obviously is not being unreasonable. Unreasonable would have been, we do this a lot, right? He's coming in saying my land's worth 117, we say it's worth 140 something. Most of the time, people come in here and say my land's worth $50,000, and then you have this unreasonable moment that we can't get over. He's being very reasonable. So, we say 149, he says 117. Then we hand it off to you guys.
I'm not sure we should be monkeying with the land tables.
Well, I'll be here again next year if you don't.
Yeah, right. I understand.
And, I may challenge, your decision.
Sure.
It is what it is.
I think
Yeah.
that's the best we can do at the moment.
I just, I want you to be fair to me.
Yeah.
And, you need to have an equitable system, like straight across the board,
Right.
be consistent.
And the district's sales and equity numbers are very, very close, and they're both
Higher.
higher by about $25,000. So he's under both equity and sales.
I don't have the big aha moment.
Okay.
You want to make the motion?
Yeah,
Scott?
so I'll move that on case ID 2021-1893, account number 17028 with respect to Q1 incorrect appraised market value. And Q2 appraisal ratio exceeded median level of appraisal or equity value, that we lower the 2021 appraisal from $282,100 to $278,400.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll be back next year.
Okay.
Don't forget your phone.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Buy the new air conditioner. Life is too short.
$14,000.
Life is too short to keep.
1606.
1606, yes.
All right. We got another one now.
We do.
Do we not have afternoon cases today?
No, we don't.
Serious?
Yeah.
Was that planned?
No, it just happened with the flood and all. We just need it scheduled for this afternoon. Case 1606.
I got big chairs.
Yes. The Paula Hobbs and her son.
Okay.
Right. And if you're ready, I'll bring them on in.
All right.
That's kind of tough.
I picked up our little stack of papers and I noticed that it was light.
Light, yeah.
Wait a minute here, because yesterday was, a heavy stack.
Y'all will be sitting at the end of the table over there. This is Paula Hobbs and her son Tito Diaz.
Yeah, grab that chair. Well, I was gonna say, Miss Hobbs, you can sit.
One of you sit
Right.
here.
Sit there,
And
sit-
yeah,
and then
Mr.
I would move over to that one. Not to the other one.
Yeah, that'll work.
There you go.
Okay, opening a hearing on case ID, case number 2021-1606, account number 18957. So this hearing is being recorded.
So at protest, on the protest form is Q1, incorrect appraised market value, and Q5, which says existing structure to be demolished.
Okay.
It says Q11 here, but I don't see any information on Q11.
You're looking at the protest form, it's
Yeah,
ticked,
mhm.
just its property description is incorrect.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It was just the checkbox.
Yeah.
Y'all getting old.
Yeah.
Q11 property description is incorrect.
Right, so it'll be, up to them to
Yep,
to show
yep,
that.
yep, yep.
Okay. All right, we're the appraisal review board, hearing your protest today, the three of us. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. Or you can do it the easy way, you can get the form from her. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In a week or two, you'll get something in the mail, a packet of information in the U.S. mail with our determination today. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So have you turned in all your evidence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I'll begin. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code 4166. Yeah.
I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So the both of you will state your name and
You can go first, Ms. Thompson. If you'll read this aloud and state your name.
Okay, I solemnly swear.
Yes.
Just have to read
Okay.
that the testimony I shall present in appraisal review board for the Arkansas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And if you'll state your name
Ms. Paula M. House.
and Mr. Diaz, and you will do the
I
same.
do solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. My name is Tito Diaz.
I, Ray Price, do solemnly swear affirm the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay. Do either of you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas? Okay.
I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't.
The piece of paper there in front of you that has times, right there.
Okay.
This is how we'll conduct the hearing with the times. So you get to choose, both sides get equal time,
Okay.
but you get to choose whether you go first or you'd like the district to go first.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, the only thing we're protesting is the old structure that's there.
Okay.
It's not livable. I do have a permit with the city of Fulton for demolition on that structure. And I've had electrical already disconnected from there and gas,
Okay.
and the water has been disconnected. Just like anybody else, I've been trying to get somebody to come over there and do it. I've got somebody lined up here to do it pretty quick. Other than that, I know the lot is set at a certain price. It's just the structure is not livable at all. We were planning on rebuilding, but as lumber prices soar, that's kind of been put on a hold. But I do need to get the old structure down.
And the reason we had not been able to demolish is because we couldn't get the electric company to disconnect the electricity from the main pole to the house.
Okay.
And it took us 6 months to get them to do it. So we've been trying since last year to do it. And then they finally just did it, what, about a week or so ago?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So that was a delay on the demolition of the house.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Right.
Ray, you got 7 minutes.
I have a couple questions. One is this Fulton permit,
Mhm.
they do? Does Fulton actually?
Yeah, the city of Fulton, yeah. You go through their office, inspector over there is named Johnny Davis.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have a permit, demo permit, building permit, anything you do over there. Mhm.
Johnny Davis?
Johnny Davis, I can give you his phone number too. The city of,
I can get it, that's okay, I appreciate it. Next question is, can you guys tell us about the purchase?
we purchased it, I don't know, what, close to about a year ago.
September?
Yeah, we were thinking that we could do the rehab on it, but the guy that built it, it's built on 4x4 posts on there. And when I started looking at the floor structure, it's made out of 2x4s
Okay.
on your deck on the bottom. So, and it's pretty much
The
rock.
joists are
The
2x4s?
joists, yeah, the joists are 2x4s. So it's so low to the ground that moisture has taken over and it's starting to collapse everywhere on there. And as you're physically inside of the house, you can look and you can see cavities where you can see daylight throughout the house.
All right, well, so hang with me here.
And it looks like it's flooded before, and it was a mold issue in there also.
So here's some things we need to discuss, right?
Okay.
The appraisal district, us, we believe you guys paid 120 for it.
Right, 120.
So that has a major influence on value,
Okay.
right? So that's why we're here today.
Right.
From the appraisal district's opinion, is you paid $120,000 for something.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just an issue, I guess I could say, for us. This is a pretty big issue. In other words, the appraisal district can't lower a value below a sale price very easily.
Okay.
Just and say, hey, this thing is. So what is required, I think now, what's best is just y'all's explanation of the 120, what you thought was gonna happen when you bought it.
Right.
And you don't have to tell me, you tell the board.
Okay.
You paid 124, why you paid 120 for it, if you learned stuff afterwards that you didn't know before, and basically why you paid 120 and now you're tearing the house down. Because it looks like you paid 120 for land at this point.
Because we were thinking that one time that they would be able to lift it up and restore it, what
Yes,
was left of the old house.
Yes, ma'am.
But like when.
But now you know something
Now,
different.
after we bought
The
it.
two by four joist, that's an issue.
Yeah, it was,
You
it
can't-
wasn't presentable, because there's no way to look up underneath the house. So once I started getting up underneath there, and I thought, well, I can pick it up, but bad thing is if I pick it up, it's gonna fall apart. There's no way that there's no way.
And all of this stuff you didn't really know when you purchased.
No, not really. The old house, you know, you could tell, you could look at the bones on it, you know, the siding needed to be replaced. But I figured, well, you can put some new siding on there. But as I started taking it apart, he had the studs on there like every 24 inches. That's not even, you know, I don't even know how he even did any kind of renovation on it and got an inspection on anything. So basically,
Right.
and then the electrical's faulty. Didn't find that out till you started working it, you know, because at that time there was no power at the place.
Yes, sir.
So then it started shorting out. I had a couple of short issues. Plumbing was, you could get by with that. You can redo that. But other than that, you know, it's just not structurally sound, basically.
So,
Upon further investigation, looking at it, just.
The appraisal district is not gonna present evidence. I don't have a whole lot more to say. And I'll close with that. I'll just answer questions if necessary.
Okay, sir, you got 2 minutes for any other questions to Ray and the district, and 2 minutes for any rebuttal.
Okay.
But you've said a lot too, so that's okay.
Okay.
I mean,
So basically, upon looking at the structure, we looked at, in fact, we've already got a set of blueprints. I was in the process of getting a permit. I've already got an engineer on it. We already spent thousands of dollars to, to build a new home there. But then budgetary reasons, materials, everything's just, it's shot up 300%. So physically, can't do it right now. So just want to knock the old place down because it's a damn eyesore. You know, it's a nice area. And all it's doing is harboring mice and there's foxes and possums that live around under that old house. So that's what our plan was. I thought at first we were going to be able to go ahead and remodel that one. It's not going to happen. Went ahead and went forward to try to get the plans to go with a new one. That's not going to happen right now either until prices go down. So
Yes, sir.
other than that, we don't see having to pay the taxes on that old structure when it's going to be knocked down within the next couple of weeks.
Okay,
If we can get
That's it.
somebody out there.
Ray, you got 2 minutes for any rebuttal.
Nothing.
Okay. You have a minute to close or have any additional
No,
comments?
that's all I
Okay.
can say. That's, just.
Ray, you got anything else?
Okay. No, sir, I'm good.
Okay, just to explain to you, appraisals are done at January 1 of every year. So even if you knocked it down next week, the appraisal district needs to look at what was on the property on
Oh,
January
okay.
1.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
so our time to deliberate, although I feel for the homeowner, the district only has them at about 77% of what they paid for it.
Functionally, I don't know if it's economic or functional, but neither one are 100%.
Yeah.
That's an incorrect statement. They're not functionally 100%. It's not economically 100%. There's a number there somewhere.
Is that?
I'm curious why it has why it has a TP.
I can answer that.
Okay, cool.
It was in the listing. In the listing, I remember looking at this. They referenced information that there was a sewer, electrical, and water hookup for an RV. Does that make any sense?
No,
to you?
because when I dug around there, I had to tell the city of Fulton that the sewer line had collapsed. Because I work for the water department in Austin.
Okay.
And I told them, no, the sewer line's collapsed. I said, it's been leaching into the ground, so, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm remembering correctly. It's possible that I'm misremembering, but I think that was in the listing. And maybe they were trying to say
Potentially,
everything they could.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know that,
Because the city of Fulton will let you fucking RV in your.
yeah, but in some of their stuff, it says that for a certain amount of time. Yeah, I think they're changing
They're
that.
working on that.
Yeah, they're working on that, yeah.
Probably if you already have one there, they're gonna grandfather it in.
Could be.
So, okay, so what I might suggest is that we take the functional down to say 50%.
Or 10.
Well, go.
Yeah. I mean, they're already down to 34.
I mean, it's 100%.
Oh, I
for
agree.
rats and
Depreciation,
mice and-
okay.
and vermin, but it's
Yeah.
probably 10% for
So, okay,
anything
I mean,
that walks upright.
if you want
Scott
to
can do that.
10%,
10%.
On the improvements.
yeah, and let's take, I think it might be appropriate to take the trailer pad, the TP off.
That's fine. Yeah, he can do that.
There was a pad there, but what it was.
Well, the pads is a bad choice of words. It's
Yeah.
actually, it's not the concrete.
Yeah,
It's just the
Utilities.
what it was he had an old shed there, the old gentleman that owned it. When Harvey came through it blew the shed out, and I'm surprised they didn't blow that whole structure out of there. I was like, how the hell this damn thing?
Yeah.
survived?
It's amazing how
Yeah.
some things didn't make it, some did.
Is there a detached garage?
No,
Still-
sir.
still in there?
No, it's nothing, just.
So there's no detached garage?
No.
We
You
have
said how much on
we
the
have a
functional,
shed.
Scott?
Is there
We
a
said
shed?
10%.
Yeah, we put a shed up there to
Okay.
keep our
It
tools. and
says
stuff.
detached garage, but it's really an SD3.
Yeah,
It's a portable
we just had a shed put in.
Oh, so there's a new there's,
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
something there.
to put our
Okay.
stuff in there.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Glass porches, add value. I'm not so sure they're there.
Well, they're there, but they don't open and they don't close. So,
Where I'm at.
Okay, so when Scott gives me an improvement value, we'll,
Okay, I need y'all to tell me what to do.
sorry?
I need y'all to tell me, I mean, I hear everybody saying 30%.
Okay, so we're gonna
10%,
reduce the functional down to 10% across the board. And we are taking the trailer pad off.
Let's see where we're at.
Yes, I think that's it.
Okay, even on the new SDs, 10%.
Well, I'm not sure to make the new portable building.
Oh,
10%.
no.
Let's keep that.
No, that's different.
Because that's new.
Okay, that's-
And that was an SD3?
Yeah.
Okay, so leave the SD3 at 100.
People chomping at the bit out there?
No. Am I early? I just heard.
No,
you discuss.
you're okay. I was just curious.
I'll just crack them with.
Okay, I put everything to 10% and now I'm back to that.
Okay.
I'll put that there. Trailer pad. All right, so that takes us to 5630 for the improvements for an overall value of 62330.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems
That's fine.
reasonable, just a slight bump over last year.
Yeah.
I'm good there. And then if you tear it down within 60 days, then you're gonna need to come back next year and make sure that, or I don't know, can they tell you that there's no structure there?
Well, it depends
Prior to that?
on how they proceed. Okay, if they tear it down next week and then start rebuilding immediately,
Yeah.
there's that to do. But you
I
just need to keep these
understand.
guys
Yeah, just kind of
informed.
keep informed, their
Exactly.
communication.
best thing to do, if you take pictures on January 1 of next year.
Yeah.
What you got,
Okay.
and make sure that when you get your statement, that the two things kind of match.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion on case ID 2021-1606, account number 18957 with respect to Q1, incorrect appraised market value, and Q5 other, and Q11 property descriptions incorrect. We really didn't address that at all, per se. I mean, we went through a couple items that
That's
were
You
really
did, you
missing.
took off some stuff. You took off
Incumbent on you to
trailer
prove
pad.
that,
Okay.
so not the district, so.
I don't know if there's anything else that we needed to address. Okay,
That's it,
fine.
that's it.
So that we're proposing to reduce the appraised value, the 2021 appraised value from 92,480 to 62,330.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you,
thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Y'all have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much. We need it.
Thank
Into
you.
that.
Okay, this is the last case on the 8:30 docket, and it's 1540. It's in person. Dennis Lappert is here. Sure.
Anybody got an egg McMuffin?
Yeah.
Breakfast. I slept in.
I wish I had gotten one.
I slept in this morning. It's like, not making out of bed. Did you lose somebody?
No, I'll have waiting.
So Scott, have you ever gone out to, back end of Matagorda, to the Matagorda Island, and walked across to the surf, not at Cedar Bayou necessarily, but
No, I never have. I hear about people doing that.
it's really pretty cool. And I haven't done it in years, so I don't really know what the new program is, but the feds like you to stay off of it.
Really?
No motorized vehicles and stuff, but I did get the guy that used to run the
Scott,
island
is
from
today your birthday?
He's not going to admit it.
Oh, really? You don't need us to sing happy birthday on YouTube or anything like that?
No, I've been singing it on there when y'all.
But he did admit that you could take a bicycle out and ride over it.
Oh, yeah?
And it's really kind of cool once you get over there. There's nobody there. And you can walk up and down the beach. There's stuff that washes up Adward Island on the north side of Cedar Bayou.
Yeah.
And you can walk miles of beach, and there's just, there's trash everywhere. But because it just washes up.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gulf makes a big toilet bowl where it comes out of the Mississippi River and circles around and just deposits stuff all day. And they try to clean it up. So there'll be like mountains of hard hats that came off of oil rigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And there'd just be like a mountain of different colors. But fishing is amazing.
Okay.
There's just guts all along. You just don't get out too far out, get into an undertow deal situation. But, it's pretty awesome. This is the time of year for that.
You'll sit right there at the end of the table. This is Dennis Lappert.
Dennis. Okay, we've got some administration to go through before we get started. Opening a hearing on case 2021-1540, account number 18013. This hearing is being recorded.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was watching. Need more coffee. At protest is Q1 incorrect appraised market value only.
Okay, Q1 only. Okay. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. It's the three of us. Ray is with the district and Scott's operating the computer. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate it if you take it.
Absolutely.
And there's a paper form. The easy way is to get a paper form from the district here. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In about a week and a half or so, you'll get something in the mail with what we just determined today. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Have you turned in all your evidence to the? Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I'll start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166.
I, Scott Waggart, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So if you'll state your name.
Okay, I, Dennis Lapper, do solemnly swear to affirm this testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the appraisal, or for the Aransas County Appraisal District, true and correct.
Okay, thank you, Dennis.
I, Ray Preston, do solemnly swear from the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Dennis, do you hold a certificate or is it appraiser in the state of Texas?
No.
Okay. On the table in front of you under the Mylar cover there's hearing procedure times. Those are the times we'll be following today. You get to decide whether you go first or you would like the district to go first.
District can go.
Okay.
Okay, this is a property on South Live Oak.
1220.
So it's south of Market Street. It's Church, Live Oak, Magnolia, Austin, Water. That's the general area. This is it's a high sale area for the district. We have a pretty big neighborhood adjustment in here. Let's see what it is, 146%. So if you go to the sales grid, all of these comps will be in the South Rock neighborhood. First comp is November of 2020. Sold for $262. It's a 4FB. 4FB plus 2006 bill, 1,300 square feet. So it's a half class higher, a little bit larger, just a few, and a little bit newer. Those things are adjusted for, given a value of $233,660. The next comp is on South Live Oak, 1,500 block, sold for $255 in December of 20. It's a 5FB minus, so it's a full class, well, almost a full class higher. That minus pulls the value down a little bit. It's adjusted for, renders value of $245. Let's see here. Both of those have the same land value, right? Yeah, those two. And the third comp also has the same land value. It's on Magnolia Street, sold for $240 in October. 1,500 square feet. It's a larger home, half class better. Renders a value of $221. The median value was comp number one, $233. That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes to cross-examine or ask for any questions and 5 minutes.
To be honest with you, first of all, I'd say I appreciate the opportunity, right? Secondly, I'm not here to debate anything about my home value. I'm here to debate the property value. right? As I can see, obviously, there's a mass appraisal of my entire street, and all the properties are basically appraised as the same. My property is not worth the properties that do not flood. My property floods if I get 2 inches of rain, right? I'll get 4 inches of water across my entire property. This last rain, I got over 30 inches of rain on my entire property. You can't even park in your driveway. When your vehicle is floating and your golf cart is in somebody else's yard, then we have a problem, right? That's all I'm here. Obviously, you have my appraisal at 67,500, but also all my neighbors. I'm 10 inches below the crown of the street. They're 18 inches above the crown of the street. That's all I'm here to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you can see in the pictures. This has happened over 20, 25 times in the last 3 years. It's not something that just happens once in a blue moon. I've had quotes on what it would cost to elevate my property, and we're upwards of $35,000 to $40,000. And to be honest with you, I'd lose all the head height if I went 18 inches above the crown of the street.
Head height underneath.
Yes,
Like,
yes, you wouldn't be able to park under it any longer. So my next move would have been, if we're gonna keep this home, because it's very aggravating, trust me. I mean, whether you have 1 inch of water on your entire property and there's nowhere to stand, or you have 20 inches, it's kind of the same problem. It just takes a longer time for it to pump out, right? 1 inch will be gone by, within 24 hours. But if you get 20 inches, you're talking about 6 or 7 days. And after 6, 7 days, all your neighbor's trash is in your yard. Your driveway has 1 inch of mud on it. You get what we're saying here, and this happens every single time. So that's really all I'm here to debate, is that when I saw the property values and then I'm estimated it's the same as my neighbors that have never had water on their property. I don't agree with that. Okay.
Okay, is that all for the moment? You'll have
Pretty much.
opportunity to say some more later.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray, you've got 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Okay, the pictures that you sent. Let me see here, hold on. Dennis, right?
Mhm.
Dennis, okay, so the pictures that you sent, were those from one flooding event and you just took a bunch of pictures, or is that?
No,
Are those
these-
several
these
different,
are just multiple.
like over time? you just-
I've owned this home for 3 years.
So you've snapped
um,
photos at different times?
yes.
Yeah. I'm asking that because I think it's relevant, because we recently had such a bad flooding event.
This is not that one.
And we don't want the board, nobody in here needs to think that you're bringing in photos from the worst rain event.
I didn't take one photo of that event.
That's good.
Because that event was the entire town. I totally get it. I'm just talking about all
We,
these
we
other
need,
ones.
we need to clarify that, so
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
We get that clarified, that's done. The next question that I have is, when you stand at, you're 18 inches below, right? And when you're standing in your when you're standing underneath your house and you're looking around,
Mhm.
is it noticeable that your neighbors, if they were standing underneath their house, they would be looking down at you? Is yours that much different than your neighbors? Or is it not really noticeable, just the water shows it?
It's not that noticeable. When I bought the property, I didn't really realize at the time, because there's 3 other undeveloped properties around
you.
that are the same elevation as me, right?
What about that one behind you, and how it doesn't have any grass? Does the water flow through there?
That goes to Magnolia Street
Yeah.
on the Magnolia side.
Is it
They're all the same. I get water that comes in that direction.
yeah.
I get water that comes down Live Oak, right?
Yeah.
That's why I try to get good photos of
Just his.
my next door neighbor's
Yeah.
elevation.
Yeah,
In
I saw
comparison
that.
to mine.
Right.
I mean, that tells you pretty
That's a
much
good
what it
picture to
is.
show that.
So what do you think?
This neighbor, I wondered why he had 3.5 foot of concrete,
Mhm.
but the city did come out and dig a culvert here because he had a culvert pipe that was unexposed, which the only way that this water will actually drain is it goes around the corner down
Yeah,
Magnolia.
That pumps out to the bay?
Yes, but it has to go all the way around the block.
Yeah. So the other question that I would have for you is, we're at 67.5 on your land.
Mhm.
What is it that do you have an opinion?
I think I sent it in on my rebuttal
What, do you
sheet.
remember what it says?
I would love to have 30,000 off of it.
30,000 off of it, puts you, what is that, 60, is that 37?
Bring it down to 37.5.
What percentage is that?
And the only reason I came up with that number is because I've had 5 or 6 bids on what it would cost just to get the concrete up. And I'm not talking about raising the property, I'm just talking about getting it to where you could drive into your property and not have to be worried about it flooding.
It's like 60%.
Because these rain events happen in hours.
So,
Value. I can supplement it and put it
hold on,
to.
it's at 67.5, right? So if we did 50%, that would be 33, 37.5 times 0.6, wait, 67.5 times 0.6. It's 40, that's where I'm at. 40,500. That's an even number, that's 60%, that's 60% good, 40% bad.
Okay.
I don't wanna have the value.
Right.
But it's okay if y'all do. I'm just telling you, I wanna give you guys a number.
Yeah.
Cause it's gonna be hard to know what the number is. We will fix value today, we will not fix a flooding problem today, which would be much better. I'm assuming that the subject owner would rather have a $67,000 lot with no flooding than a $40,000 or $37,000 lot with flooding. All of us know that.
Guaranteed.
So we can't fix that, but we can do try to do the right thing. So I'm
Okay.
at 4,500, and that's even my closing. That's everything.
Okay. That's very close to his
I'm doing it just because it's 60%.
30.
It's an adjustment. We have.
30,000 off.
37.5 versus
Yeah.
40,000.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Are you good with that?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
And it makes
I appreciate
it, Scott, will you just do it as a,
I did it as a wet 40% is what I
Thank
put in there.
thank
And
you,
it comes to 40,500.
thank you. That's fine.
And it's in the property. I'm gonna put a note explaining how we did it.
Thank you.
So let me get you the total then.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry, let me give you a total. The total is 206,440.
Bill, you okay?
So what is my property value now?
206,440. Sorry, that's the
What is the land
proposed.
alone?
The land alone is 40500.
Okay, so I will make a motion on case number 2021-1540. Account number 18013 with respect to Q1 incorrect appraised market value, that we reduce the 2021 appraisal from $233,440 to $206,440.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate
This
that.
is the kind of thing, you're at home in Houston and you want to bring the family down for vacation and you look at the weather and you're like, it's gonna rain.
This is crazy. I mean, I'm not here just to be a crybaby, guys, trust me. I kind
One
of
of
laugh
your-
about it now, but when that first happened, I bought that house, it did it 3 times in 1 month. That's when we got like 16 inches, we got 12 inches, and I was just like, I cried like a baby.
One of your pictures, by the way, is very good to demonstrate the
In
difference
elevation,
between you and your neighbor.
yes,
I mean, right next to each other.
But the power lines
yes.
or the,
Well, my whole deal is, and it's just not the time to do it right now, everything is so expensive, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
is
it's
there
too
nothing?
elevated. If I could elevate it, if I would go up 16 inches, that would be 2 steps, right, on my stairway.
Okay.
Is there no way to put in French drains and?
Where do you drain it? Just like I tell people, and they say get a pump, I say I got a pump and a 2-foot hose. I'm not getting anywhere with this, right?
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
You're recycling the water.
I'm just recycling it. I mean, it's
And you
all
can't put it on somebody else. That's true.
it's all the properties. I mean, you can't even uncork your sewer drain. It pumps back up into your water, into your land. It just gets that bad. I mean, trust me, there's been times I go, man, I've got things in my garage that I can't pick up, and we're at that line. And that slab there is elevated 10 inches, but now it's still going 6 inches into there. It's just getting worse and worse, and the more they build, the more it's happening. But I don't understand, the problem I don't understand is how do you have culvert, no culvert, culvert, no culvert, and there's no drain, right? It can't get to the pumps. It all hangs out on my property, right? It just comes on, and this goes on for weeks, you know? To where you can't park in your own driveway, you know, it's really, like I say, when this last flood, you know, situation, I had all my neighbors calling me, they had a core engine in their garage. You know, I just started sending them pictures. You know, I have to make fun of it or else it would drive me crazy. But, you know, that was one 6 month idea that hasn't held true yet. This is happening all the time. I asked them if they could put pumps, I would buy a pump, you know, no, that's not gonna do anything. You know, in the worst case scenario is when you have a southeast breeze, tides in, ground saturated, pumps are just pumping against themselves. It's weak.
Starting their own tides.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
The tide's not strong enough to get past the wind, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, it was nice meeting all you guys.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Same here.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, bud.
Good luck.
Good luck.
That does suck because his house is 20 years old, so.
It's after 10 o'clock
We got it, somebody just now checking in,
Okay.
or 8:30?
No.
Oh,
10
okay.
o'clock.
So we can take a little break.
Yes, you can. And we're celebrating Scott's birthday, so we all. It's
Scott's
a little
birthday?
related.
No, it's one.
But we've got some brownies in
Oh.
the office here. Got one.
Okay.
In case you don't know,
Hell getting old.
Yeah. Just 6 left.
the rest of the day. I do. I want some bad. Well, those are kind of good. Those are lots of chocolate, lots of sugar. I lost so much weight, and then I'm just slowly gaining it all down. It's, stop this. It's got this yo-yo. Oh, there it is. Can't happen. race coming out of that. And it's like, yeah, it's just like, right. Did you, so much handshake. He said, unfortunately, the world we live in. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. To this, it's the world we live in. I really am more and more conscious of not putting my fingers in my mouth and my eyes. That's how a lot of viruses get transmitted. Yeah, exactly. You just gotta be diligent about it. Have you ever heard of a company called, they're out of Austin, called despair.com? No. They make demotivational, they're skin kids. They make demotivational material. And so you see these pictures on the wall, serene feelings, inspirational saying, well, they turn it 180 degrees. You know, no single drop of water thought it was the cause of the fire. You know, things like that. But they have, so I didn't know some of those things, but they also have videos they sell, and they've got the real employees, and one of them is probably 18 years old now, is the president of the company, and he's going through the workplace. He gets on this platform and he elevates himself above his employees, you know, look at that. You know, it's I mean, it's funny, but you get the point that you don't want to treat your employees like this. You know, that's the real point of the video. But after he comes back down, he starts shaking. Of course, yes. Who was it that he on? Oh, it was Harris, VP, who I guess shook hands with, it was like maybe the Korean representative or prime minister or something like that. Yeah. By the way, if you're looking for this, it's in Val's. Trying not to. Oh, it's good. It's good. It looks delightful, and that's the problem. Well, I'll have it repeat. You were complaining about not having breakfast. I know. Also complaining about my pants don't fit anymore. Being chairman is a lot easier than doing this thing. Yeah, you really got to kind of pay attention. Well, you have to be sergeant at arms at the same time. Where are we? You're not only are you the timekeeper, you're the sergeant at arms because nobody else can go. Sorry, I'm sorry. You can't rant anymore. Excuse me. Good. So that guy, Bobby Fink, I don't know if you saw the 800-meter freestyle last night. Oh, that was just amazing. Because, you know, throughout the race, the guy is running fifth. Fifth on every lap. And the last 50 meters, he exploded. Just kicked big. Yeah, it was neat to watch. Dang. Do you get tons and tons and tons of spam text messages? I've gotten more lately, but not a lot. I haven't. I did during election time, right before the election. It must be. I don't know if it's stuff I've signed up for or how they even get my telephone number. But I got one, and I've deleted a whole bunch of them. But and it's not dirty stuff. I mean, for a while there it was like dirty stuff, but now I got one from Laura. Walmart sent you a notification, Laura, please collect your delivery in the next 3 hours, and then it has a link to open. Yeah, right. And I've gotten a couple that are really spooky because they have my exact address.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, what are those? There's a number that you can, you can text this stuff to.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a clearinghouse investigation company
Okay.
that AT&T, all, they try to investigate these things. And I think the more I send them, the worse it's getting. But, I got one. Hey, Cindy, we have a very high demand for homes and similar properties in your area. See cash range here. Then,
So they know there's a link between you and Cindy.
yeah.
I think they have Cindy's number. I was Jesus during election time. I kept getting, hey, Jesus, can we count on you for voting? And it's like, I responded to one or two saying, I'm not Jesus. And after a while, I just stopped.
Yeah, here's one. Hi, Bill. Hope you are staying safe with all this flooding. Just reaching out to see if you want to trade your lot at 17 Riviera Drive for some vanilla. Scarlet. That's spooky.
That is, yeah.
It's like, really? That's pretty spooky.
But they never get their last name, right? So you really don't know.
Scarlet.
Yeah.
And the Scarlet came from.
Suppose that's their stage name.
Right. That's what you should respond and say, is this your real name or your stage
And
name?
it did come from a 361 number. When you Google the 361 number, it's
Those are all bogus, generally bogus.
It's a bogus,
Yeah.
it's a number that doesn't exist. A rollover number.
Yeah.
So Suni Lee took the gold in individual all-around gymnastics. As much as it's sad about Simone Biles, the way those other ladies have stepped up is pretty impressive. Very cool.
I normally am all about the Olympics, and for some reason this year, so
You're not alone.
if they're going to play politics, I'm not gonna get
You're not alone. Olympics coverage down 47% from last summer.
I'm so over politics.
Yeah.
And the girl Simone Biles, they turned her into some sort of a pariah, and it's like,
Yeah.
Well, they did the same thing with that tennis player. That she
oh, she's so brave. It's like, so she quit and she's brave. I'm sorry. That's your job.
Yeah.
If you have a mental breakdown, just say, I'm going to take some time to readjust myself. Drop it. Don't turn it into a cause. Get that.
U.S. GDP falls far short of expectations. They'll never learn.
Print more money.
That's right.
We'll make it up.
Do you use
I'm sorry, guys. Did I say print money? Buy assets. We're going to sell bonds. We're going to all these cute names that they have now for printing more money.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Idiots. Just idiots.
Do you do Apple? Do you do your Apple News? Is that what you're?
No, this is Fox News.
Oh, just Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that Apple. Well,
I haven't.
I read Fox in the mornings. I don't do the app. I do that Apple News thing, and I click. I got like CNBC, Wall Street Journal, all that stuff, and Fox. I blocked CNN because seriously. But it kind of gives you a little snapshot, and some of it you have to subscribe to. You know, come up, this article is only available to subscription subscribers only. Okay, fine. I don't have to read it.
Yeah, I used to, in the morning, just go through USA Today online and I even kind of quit doing all that. It just, and I understand, you got to take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. It's just, it's as much about what they don't say as much as what they do say and how they say it.
Seems that journalism is kind of opinion.
Yeah.
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 Even the Wall Street Journal, I take the Wall Street Journal at home, and they're writing the last 4 or 5 years. Really well done, I think.
It's pushing you, it's trying to push you in that direction. And if you read it enough, it's gonna push you in that direction.
Yeah, but it's just poorly written. A lot of stuff is just poorly written. It's filled with all these cliches and things, and you kind of go, what does that mean? It's kind of vague wording and stuff, and you kind of go, just give me the facts.
When I was in school, business school, I don't know if it was a sophomore or junior level class, it was called business finance. And first day of class, we're sitting in the classroom, guy comes in, he's a graduate student from Ole Miss. And he's teaching the class, and the first words out of his mouth were, okay, we can do this one of two different ways. You can buy the textbook, I think it's $150 or something like that. You can buy the textbook, and there's a workbook, so we'll do, and I'll read the thing to you in front of class, and then you'll do the workbook sheets, we'll turn those in for a grade, then we'll have a couple of exams and go on about our business. Or you can buy a reduced rate Wall Street Journal subscription that I have files for, and I'll teach you how to make money. Which would you rather?
What would you rather do?
And everybody looked at each other and went,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're in business school." And so that's exactly what he did. He passed out copies of the Wall Street Journal to everybody.
Okay.
After we all decided that we didn't want the textbook for
Yeah.
$50. And
We're ready.
okay. And he taught us how to read the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
Because it's dawning, the old Wall Street Journal, not
Right.
the new one, the old one where, there was so much like data, and it was all data
Right.
driven.
Now
So
it's
much-
just information. It's not news. It's just information.
And the only
it's-
articles in it was heard it on the street and through the grapevine.
Right.
And then there was some there was some world news on the inside of the front page. There was like a world news recap.
Yep.
It was just the facts. It's just this happened in Beijing and this happened in.
Right. They didn't tell you what to think about.
No. There was no direction given. It was just this is what happened. There's a war going on in some place. There's a civil unrest. There was this. But he taught us how to read, like, you remember all those pages, I call it pages of data from the NYSE, the NASDAQ.
Yep.
And it even had a page for Hong Kong and
Yes.
and London Exchange and all that other stuff. And so we ran dummy companies and dummy portfolios. And at the end of the class, if you made a positive number,
Yeah.
you got a grade.
Okay.
And if you ran a negative number, well, I guess you weren't paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really cool. So that's what Wall Street Journal for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
It's not
And I look at
financial
this-
news anymore. It's just
Yeah.
The first case is going to be 1268.
first case.
Yes. on the clock.
Oh, 10 o'clock. Okay.
And I'm gonna set these big maps down here. It is in your tablets, but you'll be able to see these better.
All right.
Did you know that today is National Lasagna Day?
Lasagna didn't. No, I didn't.
And they've got a recipe here for smoked barbecue lasagna.
That sounds pretty good.
I'm fully on board with lasagna thing. 1, 2, 6, 8.
Page 4, middle.
Terrific at Where's Waldo.
Yeah. Sometimes. What was the thing, as a kid? There was a magazine, was it Highlight? or-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
and there was, I don't think it was.
Good thing
real-
about going to the doctor. Or the dentist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You'll be sitting at the end of the table there. This is Larry and Emily
Hello.
Giraldi. Yes. And you can either, yeah, that might be more comfortable. Okay.
I've had my shot, so I'm gonna.
Okay, sure, we're all
That's
vaccinated
fine,
too.
yeah.
Okay, we got some administration to go through before we get started here, so bear with me. The opening a hearing on case number 2021-1268, account number 22874. So this hearing is being recorded.
At protest is Q1 incorrect appraised market value, Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds median level of appraisal or equity value, and Q5 post-hurricane other, which is post-hurricane Harvey reconstruction to 80% of house.
Value.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right.
I'm not sure about the equity, if that falls into one of them, so that's kind of what I was concerned about. I don't remember what I filled in. So I was doing the comp thing, I was kind of focusing on that and the reconstruction of all the homes.
Yeah, it's,
Check all the boxes.
yeah, it's best to check as many boxes as you, and then say, this one, we're not gonna deal with.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protests. It's the three of us. Ray represents the district and Scott's operating the computer. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using a survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate if you take it. You can get a paper form from the district here if you would like that.
Okay.
You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided with your determination or with our determination. So in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, you'll get something in the mail from today. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So you turned in all your evidence. Okay, good. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. And I'll start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with anyone with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear I've not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Scott Wagger, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
Okay, all testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So if you'll state your name and
My name is Larry Laraldi. I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I'm Emily Laraldi. I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
okay.
Sure the date is today's
Oh, you don't need it.
Okay.
I, Ray Price, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Larry and Emily, do either of you have an appraiser's license in the state of
No.
Texas? Okay.
That's it.
Underneath your stack of paper there in that under that Mylar folder there is our hearing procedure times. Those are the
okay.
hearings or the times that will follow, and you get to choose. Do you want to go first or do you want the district to go first?
I'm gonna be short and sweet, so. I
Okay.
guess,
You okay?
and then you get 2 minutes, what I understand.
Yeah, you'll start with 5 and then you'll get other time later on if as you.
Okay, so, okay, that's fine with me. Like I said, second time I've only ever done this, so when do I start?
You can start now.
Okay, this picture, actually, I ArcGIS maps, it just shows the percentage of my area in Holiday Beach, not the
Okay.
whole area of Holiday Beach, but about almost 60% was damaged from Harvey. So a lot of damage there. I just wanted to point that out. Obviously, it took a lot of people, let's see, after August 26th, 2017 to file a claim, and then much less get a builder to complete their house. Okay, you filed a claim, but it's gonna take you time with all these people trying to find some kind of a builder who's gonna, remodel their home. So it took time. So they're relatively in the age of my house. My house was just built about 8 months ago. And so I was looking through ArcGIS maps, and on this map here, you see this map here, this is my house in the red.
Okay.
And I looked through every single house that you can see on this photograph. Okay, on your website. And I found these 3 on this page. I'll start with the gray one here. It's owned by Mr. Robert Woods. And it was estimated at $307,000. Ours is $341,000. I'm trying to figure out why, because it has twice the amount of raw value, 0.34. I'm only at 0.11. And also it has a square footage of 1,530 square feet. Mine is only 1,248. So its value is at 307,000. There's quite a difference. There's a gap. I go to the purple here. It's owned by Tim Masick on 523 Palmetto Point. The raw land is exactly the same as ours, 0.111. However, it was damaged. And the living space is very comparable to ours. So his was valued at 178,000. I don't know why, but it was damaged. So I'm not sure how old that house is. If you go to the orange one here, John McIver at 527 Palmetto Point, the raw land is at 0.11, just like ours again, but his value, appraised value, is at $220,000, and the square footage of the house is virtually like ours. So if you go to the second page, some time allotted here, same area, maybe 250 meters at most from our house. Raul Tarango, 94 Channel View. He has a little bit more raw land, 0.6 more. Square footage of his house is 1516, and it was appraised at 305,000. Again, ours at 341,000. There's quite a gap there, but it was damaged again. Okay, these are damaged homes. Jason Foster in 73 Bel Air, square footage of his house 1,536. Actually has a little bit less raw land. The value of his property, 305,000. Okay, the one thing I wanted to touch on in San Antonio, I don't know how standardized this is, but in San Antonio, you build a brand new home, you get a one-time tax appraisal for the amount what it cost to build our house. You have to have it itemized. So I have this here. That's why I brought this. And to build our house between $310,000 is about $312,000. So in San Antonio, that's what they do. I don't know how they do things here in Rockport. Apparently, it's not too standardized.
Not done that way.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Well, I think it needs to be. I'm not going to sit here and argue about that. It needs to be standardized because you go from one place to another, anybody can just kind of make up their own rules. But anyway, this is the fee, the itemized fee, what it costs to build our house. Okay, so if you don't do that, then that was actually my first option. See if you guys would come down to around $312,000. So do you think that's a possibility for 341,000?
Well, just as an aside real quick, there's the land component and there's the building or improvement component. So I think what you're addressing here is pretty much the improvement component. But we have opportunities to talk more. So I understand.
Let's see. This is just the rules. Well, I went through pretty much all of these, and I did find comps that I agreed upon. Not everything, I realized my house is not going to be perfectly the same amount of square footage and the same amount of raw land. But if you go through these, I made my notes. They're pretty clear. Comp 1 on 163 Sailfish actually has 1,440 square foot of livable space. I mean, to me, it's not a comp.
Okay, I'm going to need to stop you for the time being.
Okay.
You'll have some more opportunity to
Sure.
talk.
Mhm.
So Ray, you have 2 minutes for cross-examination and 5 minutes for presentation.
So the 312 on the, a couple of things about that. One is an appraisal district that goes to cost is thumbing their nose at the property tax code by going to cost. The property tax code requires an appraisal district to be at market value. So it's a very odd thing that San Antonio would decide to do that, especially because San Antonio has Bear County has their own legal department. So we have a lawyer, obviously, but they're on a retainer that we call, but they have in-house lawyers. It's a little odd that they would do that. But they do that. I agree. I mean, I understand they probably do that. But in our opinion, it would be 312 plus 80, which would value your house at nearly $400,000. Meaning if someone wanted to replicate what you did, they would need to buy land and they would need to pay Mr. Gossert $310,000 or 312. And they would have to spend close to $400,000 and we're valuing you at 341. So it seems like we're under your cost value. That doesn't bother me either because with a lot of people find that it's cheaper to buy a home than it is to build a home. So we feel like often we talk to people who actually at the beginning they pay more to build their house than they could actually sell it for. It's expensive to build down here. Our builders are a little bit pricey compared to other parts of the state. They view themselves as very custom, and so they charge a custom rate down here. It's almost too expensive to build a house down here for a lot of people. So the 341 still seems accurate. On if we go into our comp grid on that selfish, he's right. It is a 1440 compared to a 1248. But the very first thing that happens is in that adjustment is there's an adjustment downward to pull value down because there's a square footage difference. And then it's pulling value down because the porches are different, are in the comp are bigger. The particular comp doesn't have a carport under, so it adds value, but the subject doesn't have a garage and the comp does. So you see it takes away 64,000. So it's making all these adjustments to try to produce a comparable and say, you know, what would this sell for? One of the things you'll notice is, according to our comp grid, for sales, it wouldn't sell for 340. We can't prove that it would sell for 340. We're actually pretty close to what the cost to build is. Our opinion of value is not 341, it's 323. So we're saying that we noticed Larry and Emily too high. The value of their house should be 323. When you go through these other sales, the next comp here is on Palmetto. It's a lower class. It's about the same square footage. It's an older home. Comps out to 339. It's got a $9,000 adjustment. That's a pretty clean adjustment on over $300,000 to only have to move around. A pretty small amount of money to compare them. It's a very comparable house because the square footages are so close together. And then comp number 3, this is on Channel View. It's pretty comparable. It's a little bit larger, a little bit older. Classes are pretty close. These are good comps. These are, they're all right there. They're all pretty close. They're all in this little neighborhood we call 2703 Canal or Cana, but it's Canal. The system doesn't have enough fields to finish the L. But anyways, we end up at 323 on the median on sales, and we end up at 344 on the median equity value. So in there, we're comparing fives, and we're trying to stay, with 5s, and we're trying to stay close to the same living area and close to the same age. And we have a 2018 and 2019, all around 1,200 square feet. Then the next one is all class 5s, 1,200. The last comp there is 1,300 square feet. There's an adjustment made for it. Again, it comes up to 344. So in this case, it's kind of odd that the equity value is higher in the sales. That's not normal in this county for the equity value to be higher and the sales value to be lower, but it is the data that we have. And I think I think the appraiser who did this, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna see that 344 equity grid. And then I'm gonna go back to the sales grid at 323, and I'm gonna start monkeying with things, because I'm not gonna like that delta. But this is all we could get to. That 323 is rock solid. That's our opinion of value is 323.
For our house.
Yes, sir.
And land.
House and land, yes, sir, the whole enchilada, yeah.
Okay, Larry, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine Ray or ask any questions if you want, and another 2 minutes for rebuttal. So I'll give you 4 minutes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to comp 1. Let's see, here on this page, I agree with this on 443 Palmetto. I agree with comp 2. It's more, but unfortunately, it's kind of in our price range. Comp 3 and 4, see, I'm trying to figure out why this adjustment. I mean, well, it's about what you're gonna give me. It's $10,000 less. This one's about $13,000 less for comp number 4, which is on 64 channel view. So, it's in that ballpark figure. Comp 4 is just a little bit bigger than our house, but comp 3 is like right on. So, going to the next page, you get a little more confusing.
Just so that you know, real quick, I just want to let you know, this sales ratio report, it covers all of Holiday Beach wet. So there's even going to be Bel Air, Newcomb's. Okay, just making
Yeah,
sure.
I went through every single house in the whole area.
Okay.
This, let's see, the next page is 14 Bel Air. That's considerable amount of raw land. I mean, it should be a comp in my opinion. And it also has a pier. When I looked that up, I'm like, we don't even have a pier.
These are not comps.
Okay, so what is
This is just all sales.
Okay, well,
Everything is sold in.
I know, but I mean, it has a pier. I don't have a pier.
But
These
it's
are
not a comp.
We're
right.
not comparing it to.
Okay, well then, that's it. I guess my case rests.
Okay.
I mean, so the only other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if people asked this for you, but our builder, I don't know if he passed away Sunday. Tom Gossard.
Hmm.
Passed
Yeah,
away
his mother
Sunday.
passed away the Sunday before,
Oh my goodness.
Sunday,
I read an article about the two
yeah.
husband and wife very close together.
Contractor's fee, $33,000. How does that fit into this? Because I know it comes out of our pocket and it's just for him to build the house, but it's nothing that's really tied to the house.
There's nothing to do with the appraised value.
But it's $33,000.
But it's caught up.
I mean, it's not chump change.
Right.
But it's caught up in that because everybody has to have a house built. They don't just appear.
Right.
It's an indirect cost for sure. It's not a
Okay.
2x4. But it's just like when you pay for a car, you pay for a portion of the salary of the person who built the car. Yeah, it's just how it is.
So the best y'all can do is, or
Well,
is
the
it my
best
turn?
I
Sean?
can do is 323. Yeah, and then these guys get to go from there.
So you got anything else? You'll have another minute.
No, actually I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I took the time and went through every single home. And that's what I could find. And like, I agree with some of yours and then I don't agree with some.
Okay.
It's kind of like a boxing match, I guess you could say.
Okay, Ray, you got 2 minutes for any rebuttal
Yeah, I
Okay.
rest at 323.
and no closing, is that, okay? So you have an additional minute for any final comments, closing?
The only thing that I'd like to get on record is maybe write a law. Maybe thinking about how this is done and maybe do a percentage of people's taxes, property taxes. I'm not sure where this money goes to. I have an idea. I'd like to see where mine gets funneled through, If it was my choice, it'd need a hospital here, a real hospital. Other than that, I know it goes to school, roads and so forth. I get all that. But there's something that's got to be standardized, like a percentage of the value of the equity of the house or something. But because we were just, going back and forth, and we could do this, all day. I don't want to. So I guess I guess we'll agree to that and take it from there.
Okay, and just as a minor clarification, there's a difference between the appraisal and the taxes. Okay, so after all of the appraisals are done and certified, and taking into consideration protests and so on, that's turned over to the taxing entities, the city, the county, the school district, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that set the tax rate, and they ultimately are the ones that determine how is the money that they get coming in from taxes, used. Okay.
Yeah. The only problem I have with that.
Austin has a little bit of influence over that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. But the only problem I have is if you look at all of them, if you're like running a statistical test, school district is like way out of kilter. It's like it's skewed up here and everything else is like, 0.01 and 0.03. Then you get to the school district and it's like 0. Whatever, 7 or 9. And it's just like, okay, you have to have a reason for it. I get it. It's school. I used to be a teacher. She was a teacher.
33 years.
And I understand all that, and those are interesting discussions you can have with those taxing entities.
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, and
We're just the appraisal.
I
we're just
understand.
doing the appraisal. So we set the base,
They do
the base that
we
they
just
work
hear the
with,
cases.
and we know while they don't certify the tax rolls until later in the year, I think the school district has already.
They just lowered it.
Yeah, the school district has already announced they're going to lower their tax rate.
Okay.
So we'll
There's a guy.
see what happens.
And that's the way that taxes and appraisals are supposed to work. In a perfect world, if the appraisals go up, the taxable value percentage number goes down, tax rate goes down. In a perfect world, that's the way it's supposed to work. They're never supposed to go up
Yeah, I think
together, and they're not supposed to go down together. If something happens in the whole city, whole county devaluates, God forbid, then the tax is going to have to go up. So it has to work opposite of each other. But anyway, we need to move forward.
We're not going to challenge or anything. So if you want to send us the letter in the mail, if you have to by law, it's fine. But
We need to make a motion on minor change here. So Bill, we're at 323,440.
That's
Okay. So I will move that on case number 2021-1268, account number 22874, with respect to Q1, incorrect appraised market value, and Q2, appraisal ratio exceeded median level of appraisal, and Q5, some other items that were discussed, that we lower the 2021 appraised value from 341,630 to 323,440.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
all right.
And now you know your neighborhood very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had the property a long time. Finally built them.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your outfit.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, our next case is in person. Ann Pierce is here. It is case 2082.
Last one.
Page 5, yeah.
Last one on the page.
Yeah, yeah.
On the book.
Ready for me to go get her?
I believe so.
Okay.
Going in the room with the brownies, don't
You'll sit over there at the end of that.
That's actually a good thing. If I go for that, I'll say fatty 2x4 now.
Yeah.
There's candy
Okay.
there and.
Yeah.
Welcome
Get it
to
away.
Brownie, probably that last chair right there.
Is where I should sit?
Yes, that's
Okay.
where we've got the tablet and this is Anne Marie Pierce, right in this chair.
Oh, that's.
Bear with us a moment, Ann. We've got some administration to go through before we get started.
Okay.
I'll be asking you some questions toward the end. So we're opening a hearing on case number 2021-2082, account number 24955. This hearing is being recorded.
So at protest, we have Q1 incorrect appraised market value and Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds median level of appraisal or equity value.
Yes, and I called and asked that, oh, sorry.
We'll get to you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody wants to jump the gun.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today, the three of us. Scott's the computer operator. Ray is with the appraisal district at the end of the table. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpatexas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/survey ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate if you take it. You can also get a paper copy of the survey from the appraisal district on the way out. You have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. So in about a week and a half or 2 weeks, you'll get a packet of information in the mail. It has our determination today, which you'll know when you walk out. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Have you turned in all your information to the appraisal district? Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I'll start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166F.
I, Scott Waggert, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
Marie, if you want to go ahead and say that aloud, with your names,
Say what?
this line right here.
I do solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And if you'll state your name.
Anne Marie Pierce.
I request you to solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, Ann, I need to ask you, do you hold a certificate as an appraiser in the state of Texas?
No.
Okay. In the bottom of your stack there in front of your tablet, under that Mylar, yeah, right there, those are the hearing times that we're going to follow in the hearing today. You get to choose. Do you want to go first or would you like the district to go first?
They'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, Ray.
All right, this house is on Luau.
Mhm.
So we're in Keel Lake Road, we're at 2 Luau, so that would mean you turn, I guess that means you turn right on Luau and it's the first house on the right,
No,
Left.
no, I'm sorry.
right?
Mhm.
Right,
Wait, turn. I don't know my
turn
glasses.
right, first
Yes,
house
it's
on the right,
Yeah, yeah. Wait, hold on. You turn
on the
on
left.
Luau, it's on the left.
it's on the
Yes,
left.
that's
Yes.
right.
Okay.
I do not know my rights and lefts.
That's fine.
So sorry. Or north and south.
So, there you go, we got it, so it's there, and it transacted this year, looks like, it's in September. The appraisal district does not know the purchase price, but the deed of trust has a loan amount of $425. And then there's a sales comparison grid here, it is not included in the grid. The house is adjusted at 75% good. It's not complete. The home is not complete. So the home is at 75% good. So you'll notice in the sales approach, we have devalued by 25% every sale. So that's why that 75% is there in red.
Okay.
That's us pulling the sale value down. Or the, sorry, not the sale values. That's us adjusting the home, showing we're putting in more of a reduction because there's a 25% adjustment to the subject. So the first sale is on Luau, number 17 Luau.
Oh, sir, that's what I was trying to say earlier. I called yesterday and I'm only gonna be presenting on equity. I didn't do anything on sales.
Sure.
I called, okay,
Well, let me do something. Let me finish this up. The protest has Q1,
Okay.
Q2. I'll go through it quickly.
yeah, because I filled it out incorrectly.
The next one's on Pelican, and the next one's on Bahama, rendering a median value of 555. They're all adjusted at 75%. In the equity grid, we're also adjusted at 75%, and the comps are 4 SSs, subject is 2,200 square feet. First comp is 2,000 square feet. The next comp is 2,300 square feet. One's on Curlew, one's on Luau. The last comp is on Luau. It's 4 SS. It's a little bit smaller, 1970 square feet. And they're all adjusted with that extra 25% reduction, giving a median value of 549,865. So the median value is supported. That's all I have.
Okay, you have 2 minutes to ask Ray any questions and, I'm getting-
5 minutes.
Sorry, 5 minutes for presentation.
Okay, so you don't present then on the equity, which is what I prepared
I
for.
did. The equity
Okay.
part here was just that equity grid. That's all it is. Is us comparing 3 class 4 homes, right around 2,000 square feet, with build dates or effective dates that are close to yours. And when we adjust out to 549,865.
Okay, so I'm only gonna be addressing the equity.
This is equity.
Okay, no, but I'm just saying,
Oh, okay.
my information that I'm
Okay.
about to get.
Did this sell? Did she buy it
like,
in November?
On the sales, we bought it in August of 2020.
Okay,
And so anyway, we bought the house and the house, currently the contractor that we bought the house from is in 4 lawsuits right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard from any of these other people,
No.
well, I'm sure they're all protesting their taxes also. I've got their names and it's listed also. One of the people is on our street, 20.
No. Call a timeout real quick. Just real quick, I just want to make sure that you know that you're being recorded. You're
Yes,
on YouTube.
okay,
This is an open meeting.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that because I don't want you to say anything that would affect your lawsuit in a
okay,
negative way. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can be really restricted.
okay,
what you're-
thank you.
So just letting you know. I don't want you to get blindsided by that.
Okay, thank you. I've never done this before. Okay, so anyway, on our house, we bought our house in August. We bought it from some people that the house sustained a lot of damage, as you can see in the blah, blah, blah. Here we are.
Taxpayer, your
So,
pictures.
so on the before, I wanted to just point out, on the before 2014, 15, 16, which is C on the things that were scanned in.
Okay, we have 2, oh, here we go. Okay, there's B, D. Okay,
Okay, so Hurricane Harvey, 2017. Actually, we almost bought this house in 2014. Always loved the house. So you can see what the roll of improvements was, 90,000, then 109, 109, 109. Then it was 27, 26, and then bumped up in 2020 to 135. So obviously this house sustained a lot of damage. So there was a big bump. I'm not agreeing with the 135. Part of the reason I'm not agreeing is we bought the house, the market is really hot. We bought the house. A lot of the work was supposed to, the contractor again has 3 lawsuits going and possibly 4 would be me. And the house has a really pretty shell, but inside it's a disaster. And so just to start out with, there's no we don't have, the roof didn't have WPI8, the doors or the windows or the garage door. So currently we got a new garage door, but if you could just look over at, on the photographs, 7, they're labeled 7 and 8. That was an example of his completed work of our garage. You can see he used, up here on the top of 7, he used MDF board. It's just a complete disaster. This is what our garage door looked like. We've redone it. Of course, this didn't have windstorm either. Okay, so then also no permits were pulled. So none of this we knew when we were buying our house. There's no plumbing, electric, AC, nothing, no plumbing, electric, and we've had multiple electric and plumbing issues. For instance, he put in a on-demand water heater that on our house, it's a split level house, or on one side, there's a bathroom with 2 bedrooms, a washing machine, and downstairs there's another shower. The on-demand water heater he put in provides water for 1 vanity. And that is you can see the plumber, we did not know this. We thought something was wrong. The kids would take showers, Mom, there's no hot water, and we had the plumber come out. And he wrote up a list of not only the water heater problem, but all another array of things that we have to have fixed. That would be B on the deal. So you can see highlighted is number 6, downstairs tankless water heater, grossly undersized. There was a sunken living room in our house at one point. He raised up the living area, changed the configuration of the kitchen. The place where he raised up the living area is sinking, and we need to rip out the floors. And now there's a problem. It's only a small area of the sunken living area, but unfortunately, there's no flooring available. He bought it at a discount center. I have tried to look for flooring, so the only way to do it, we have the same flooring in our whole house. So now, what do we do? I don't know what we'll do. We're gonna somehow have to try to save that when we rip it up, but So no windstorm. We've still we went with the private insurance because that became apparent to us when we tried to get insurance. Found out no permits were pulled. Not only did he have an undersized on-demand heater, he also, it was not correct in the electrical panel, would be a fire hazard. So we had to take care of that. Then we go up to the back deck. I'm just gonna go through the major things. Our back deck, he put in a brand new back deck. What he did was he put a plastic covering, something that you usually put on top of a ceiling. He was trying to waterproof that. So then under our deck, he put sheetrock, but water still made its way through, and the dumb shit, put sheetrock, not even green board, in an outside area. All of that has to come out. You'll see I had a guy come out. What would that cost to fix? 15 to 20,000. The price of wood is just astronomical. I said, I can't do that. I've got to take this covering out. Nope, you can't get the covering off. It's impossible. I said, well, no, it's not. I'm going to get my power washer, chemicals, and I ended up getting it off. The picture is 5 on the deal. You can then look at 6 and you can see some of his handiwork. He tacked in the railing had to all be ripped out just because it's not safe. He tacked them in with little tacky nails.
Okay, Ann, I'm gonna need to have you stop for a minute
Okay.
because your time is up
Time's
here, but
up?
you'll have
Okay.
some more, you'll
Okay,
have some
good.
more opportunity to talk. So Ray, you have 2 minutes for cross-examination and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Do you know if Key Allegro is still doing the thing where you have to permit through them also,
Yes,
the Chris Beach
Yes.
system?
yes. I had a house here also on 20 Montalban.
So,
How do you get away with that?
yeah, was there nothing in place? You know, 'cause
I've talked to Chris Beach.
okay,
I've talked
and how
to,
did he install a underpowered, on-demand hot water heater when you're in a double permit system? You're getting a
he didn't
permit?
have a permit. There's no permits. I've called Frank up there. Our plumber's
Oh,
called
and
Frank.
you talked to Chris too, and he did
Yes.
Beach?
Yeah, Chris
And
Beach,
he
there's
has-
no permits were pulled. And with Frank, my plumber and our electrician, there was an initial plumbing pulled, but nothing on any of the work that he did. Underneath every cabinet, instead of the S, he's
Did
got
you
the
know
wrong
the
S.
owner? Did you know the other owner?
I just met them. I didn't know them. They're
No
from
way.
San Antonio.
No red flags or anything? like
No,
that?
they're very nice people. They got totally, I know actually quite a bit. I've redone 3 homes in Key Allegro. The owners live in San Antonio. This guy is a con artist. He spoke he was paid like, I think, $170,000.
There's
It
a-
probably has maybe $30,000 worth that he did.
There's a certain amount of irony in that Key Allegro has their own permitting system. So you've got someone who, breaks through the line of the city permits, breaks
Something
through the
broke down.
line of the second permitting system, which is not required by city. And then now, yeah, so I
And
think
the same thing with the permits happened to the gentleman on 11 Bimini. The day that we bought our house, that we closed, I had 2 of the people that are currently in the lawsuit pull up to my driveway and say, "You don't understand what you've just bought." Honestly, I'm not even kidding,
Yeah.
within 1 hour, I was there moving
So
stuff
that
in.
brings me to my next question. Did you understand what you bought?
No, I did not
What do you-
understand. What we bought.
So afterwards.
It was,
you found
again,
out-
I didn't
So-
know, I saw an on-demand and
Did you have the house professionally inspected? before you-
yes, we did.
Okay.
And I've actually, sell real estate in a little bit. I'm a new realtor, but I have sold about 3 houses in Key Allegro and have used the same person. For instance, the venting, there's no venting. Every toilet, every should have a venting. Now, he's got that exterior venting put up there,
Uh-huh.
but it's not like the toilet's connected to the shower. It's not connected to the venting. No way that a guy would know that, except for once you start using it and you start smelling sewage smells.
Well, it should be it's either under the sink or it's in the wall. A lot of times it's in the wall. It's just a little cap.
But for the toilet,
Well, a
yeah.
lot of time even that could be in a wall. All
Well,
right.
yeah, I brought it to the inspector's
Let me
attention.
move
Okay,
myself
sorry.
forward here. Here's what I want to tell the board is I don't have an opinion on this. I will tell you that the appraisal district's at 75% complete on this house. I think that everything that the homeowner is saying is legitimate. I'm in unison with what she's saying, and I don't have an opinion of value. I don't know what it's worth now. I don't know. It's worth some number. It may not be worth, whatever it is that we have on it at this point. I don't know.
Most of the value's in the land.
Yeah,
In
and
terms of
that's,
the current appraisal, yeah.
and then that was the land was another, but I probably don't have time for that. But if you also look on, tell me when it's my turn.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. Let me just look here.
So I was gonna say, go back to C and I was gonna compare those.
So we're adjusting the land downward by 15%. We have it 85% good. That has to do with an end of canal adjustment. She's at the end of a canal.
Okay.
And then the structure is at 183. There's 120. We valued it at 549. It's become obvious that there's things they found out afterwards. So I will just kind of push all of that to you guys and say, good luck.
Okay.
Okay, just whenever it's my turn, I was just gonna
Okay,
say.
you have 2 minutes.
2 minutes, you
Yeah.
just started. Okay, so on, going back to number C, or letter C. So here we're looking at the role of improvements for the properties I was comparing with. So again, we go down to I wanted to know what the change was from 18 to 19 to 20. That was a huge jump. And then from 20 to 21, we're raised up almost $4,800. And the other three were all from 20 to 21 were all raised anywhere from 2,800 to 3,800. 2,800, 2,800,
1,000?
I mean, 6,000,
Okay.
excuse me. So there was another huge jump on ours, and we're dealing with some the house that we thought we bought is not the house that we have. And we're gonna have to work through that probably for anywhere from 3 to 5 years to just get it to what we thought we had. And I don't even know yet on windstorm, because that's gonna be our next thing that we tackle. We had to first get everything done. Also on the land value, yes, we have it. We're on a pie-shaped property. So it says that we have 90 feet of waterfront, but what's happening is there's 4 houses, there will be 4 boat lifts that will all obstruct our view. You know, and the value of the property, it's really on the waterfront. And 3/4 of our property, if not more, is the front of our house, which is a pie shape and unusable. Like we can't even put I wanted to put like a boat, use some of that land and have like somewhere where a little driveway would park the boat. Can't do that, has to be in a garage. So all of that land is really just more of a negative that we have to keep up with it, that, you know, it's on the corner lot, there's nothing that we can do, and there's a picture of it that I don't have it in mind, I left that at home, but you all had
Got
it,
Okay.
that pie.
So I need to.
So currently, there's right now in construction 3 boat lots. The one right next to us, he's bringing when we bought the house, they told us they could not put a boat lift there because he took all of his Chris Beach and Loose Properties told us they can't do that because they've taken theirs up with their swimming pool, but they are doing it. So that's gonna be right in front of our house. And then next
I'm
door,
gonna need
2
to
more. Okay,
Stop
sorry.
you. You'll have 1 more minute
Okay.
in just a minute. Ray, you have anything else to close?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
You got another
oh,
minute?
you've got people coming. I know, I'm a jabbermouth. I could talk for years.
Okay, so I give you another minute to close or to have any additional comments.
Okay, so well, my close is, when we went from 219 to 220, I don't understand where it came up so high to 135. Yes, there was damage, but that 135 is not a correct number. And then how from 135 to 183, we've got 4,800, and everyone else has 28 to 38. So that, and then how our property, the land value, I didn't even get into all of that, but just the fact that we don't have a water view, and we won't, right now, currently, there's 3 boat lifts that are getting ready to be put in. One was supposed to never, ever be there. So again, whatever this Key Allegro business that's supposed to protect us, it doesn't protect us. Hi there. Sorry, Chris.
Okay. I'll need to stop you now.
Okay.
Do you have a cost to cure when you're on the structure?
I'm not sure what that means.
Total cost of what the
To fix-
repairs are gonna be to fix the mess?
Well, the things that I have, so I've got probably, I don't really know yet on windstorm for the roof and the windows and the doors. They're gonna have to rip them off, see if they're done. So I would say probably 175,000. I mean, just the deck is 20,000, the electrical, I I put some numbers
So-
here with,
No. I have a question. Would you care to tell us how much you paid for it?
we paid 600,000 for it.
Okay. All right. That doesn't help
Ouch.
us make your
Yeah,
case, so. I guess what I would suggest is we just roll it back to last year. It doesn't seem like anything's been done to this house
Or go to 50%.
positively.
I like that.
Or
Go to 50,
or go to-
50% from, on the improvement, 50%. On the improvement.
Improvement.
Well-
And look at, an end of canal situation on the, land.
And that's already been, Ray said that's already been looked at.
It is
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, it's 15%. So
It's clear to me that, the Al Johnson house on the corner has.
And his boat
Taking
is
over everything.
so
extremely
Scott, can
large.
we look?
Now, we knew
we
that,
put a 50%.
but we accepted it because he could never have a boat there. But now he's got like a 30-foot boat.
You put it
And a-
complete.
50% complete.
It's gonna be
Yeah, I don't know that
a
that's
shit
what
show.
he was thinking.
What's that now? I'm
You-
sorry. I was-
There's two ways to approach the improvement adjustment. One is to change the percent complete. And the other is to, which I think is where your head was at, was to just take the value and do half of the value. No, I don't know what that, because it's already set, it's already at 75% complete.
I'm thinking 50% complete, because she's talking about possibly having to replace windows and a roof and things, so.
I don't know what the effect is gonna be if we
Construction,
change it
it's gonna
from
be-
75 to 50%.
Yeah, you can't really take a, unfortunately, you just can't take a Keel Grove house all the way down to, like a $50,000 valuation. You just
No,
can't, you
no.
can't do that. I mean, you just can't.
And I wouldn't suggest,
But 50% complete, I'm just curious what that
Okay.
did to the overall number, Scott.
All right, so you want me to put it to,
50% complete construction.
Okay.
Let's see what that number comes up to be.
I mean, I can't figure out how they put a roof on the house without.
I
I
guess
don't
it was
get it.
with the, I mean, but like, here's our outdoor bar area.
Yeah, oh, I
I mean,
looked, I studied
It's
the
like,
pictures while you're
okey
talking.
dokey.
It's a,
And that's not
it's a
even,
conundrum.
it's
it takes us
anything,
to
what it was
488,
he got his
110.
workers from the bar, he'd go out and drink and
which is,
hey,
which is 20, which is 19, no, it's 23,500 less than
Last year.
It's not right.
Yeah. I'm thinking you roll it back to last year.
And I was gonna do even more.
Even more?
Yeah, I mean, if
Oh,
we
yeah,
could set the
absolutely.
improvement,
That's way too high.
if we could set the improvement value to 90,000,
Yeah, I see that.
Just about have it.
I see
yeah.
that. I see that.
And that's what I was getting at.
Because it's under
Yeah.
construction. I mean, you can't live in it. You can't live like that.
So
now,
that's
we
my
are living
suggestion.
in there.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I
Okay,
understand.
475, 385 plus 90 is 475.
That's what I would go with.
365
That's where
plus 90, 455.
No, 385. The land
It's
is,
365.
oh, I'm sorry, I can't read.
Yeah, my eyes were the same way.
365, there you go,
So 455, 810,
there you go.
but they are living in the house.
It's all right.
Okay.
There's not a homestead on there, right?
Unfortunately, Chris won't let you pitch a tent or an RV for very
Okay.
long. I live there.
I'll go for that. Scott, if you want to make a motion.
Okay. So I'll move on case number 2021-2082, account number 24955 with respect to Q1 incorrect appraised market value and Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds median level of appraisal, that we lower the 2021 appraisal from 549,270 to 455,810.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right, well, thank y'all. Sorry for getting a little fiery.
No, you don't know what fiery is.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
What's next, Val?
We have 2 accounts with the same person, and that will wrap up the
And it's
10:30
Randy's
document.
fault too.
Oh, don't forget your purse.
Oh.
I know you wouldn't have got far without it.
Okay, thanks, y'all.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good day.
System really failed.
I think that's just-
So this must be magnets.
2078 and something else.
Yes, 2077, 2078.
Okay.
Did you say 2077?
Yes.
We have an easy one.
The one's land, the other one's land on a municipal.
Oh, it's the same for two.
Mm-hmm.
And across the street. Are they in person?
Yes.
Boy,
2077, 2078. In person.
Okay.
The only thing that's shown on the protest form is other. Reading it right on 2077.
Yeah.
Yeah, on both of them. However, I mean, the explanation on other kind of supports Q1 or and Q2 for that matter.
Yeah. We just need to ask him what.
Okay.
I don't mean to, when we get him in here, pick on his wording, but we don't fix the tax rate. You know, we need to ask him, what is he really protesting?
What are we doing first? 77?
77.
You know, most businesses give people a day off on their birthday. Oh,
I've never heard that either.
sounds like a good idea though, doesn't it?
And if it were my birthday, that would matter.
You're too precise.
River in Egypt.
He's got to be in this business.
You know, it's actually not. Not my birthday. That was,
Oh, it really isn't.
oh, no, it was,
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
this is Jamaica. Yeah.
yeah, like we had a flood and stuff, you know.
Just minor
I mean,
details.
I get it. Okay.
Good morning.
This is Robert Magnus. Y'all would have seen him on Monday.
Yeah, why didn't they get,
Well, this is in the name of Civil Magnus. So
Okay.
okay.
we don't have any paperwork or an appointment, but Mr. Magnus said that Civil is his deceased mother.
That's correct. I'm executor of the estate. I've paid the taxes on it the last 20 years. All the appropriate paperwork is filed with the county. If I need to get some of that, bring it, I will.
Okay, before we get started, we need to ask you a question because the protest form, the only thing you checked was other, and we just need to find out what you really are protesting, because your statement unfair, unreasonable escalation of tax rate. Well, we don't set the taxes.
I understand that from
Okay.
our previous meeting.
Yep.
I misspoke. You strike that word. It's the appraisal value that I take issue with,
Okay,
from which the tax is derivative of, right?
yes,
Okay.
in part. Now, there's
Gotcha.
two aspects to protest the value, because the appraisal is based on market value or equity, okay? And you can protest one or both or whichever in terms of the market value and or the equity value in comparison to other properties near you.
Well, generally just the appraised value. If that constitutes both of them, then
Well, the appraised value is just the market value, but
So, is your argument gonna be that it's valued too high, meaning it wouldn't sell for that much money? Or is it valued too high, meaning that there's other lots around you that we're valuing lower than that one, and you're not happy with the way we're treating you and compared to other properties? Those are the two clear things that the appraisal district has to do correctly.
right. So my concern is specifically with my property. And I understand your policies a little more from having been here earlier, but most of my argument is just based on the specific value of that property. Other properties in the immediate area, I'm not so much aware of their value. I haven't familiarized myself with that as much. I don't know if you saw the photos I submitted.
That's good. I think you're explaining it. And I think we can make the assumption, right, when someone turns in a protest that their intention is almost always to say that our value is wrong.
Okay.
There's been some precedent with that. Sometimes people will turn in a protest sign but not check any box. But we're not supposed to disregard that protest.
No.
We're supposed to make the assumption that they're not happy with the value.
Okay, so we're talking Q1 here.
Yeah.
Then.
Market
Okay,
value.
market value
okay.
And yes, and there are two accounts we're gonna swear in for
for
both
both.
at the same time for the swear in.
Okay, let me go ahead and get started here. So we're opening a hearing on account number 2021-2077 and 2078. Account numbers 22611 and 22609. This hearing is being recorded.
So a protest on both accounts is Q1 incorrect appraised market value and Q5 other with some items about the value that we've discussed here before.
Okay.
Yes.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate it if you'll take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So you turned in all your evidence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I'll start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and this pertains to accounts 2021-2077 and 2078.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code 4166F pertaining to accounts 2077 and 2078.
I, Scott Waggart, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F as it relates to case IDs 2021-2077 and -2078.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So it's your turn.
I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And Bill, state your name and then name the two case IDs.
Robert Magnus, 2021-2077 and 2021-2078, 2 accounts.
I request that you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct for cases 2077 and 2178.
And I have to ask again, do you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. So as the other day, we'll be following those times in the hearing, and you get to choose whether you want to go first or you'd like the district to go first.
I'd like the district to go first.
Okay.
Okay. So in our sales comparison, this is a lot, maybe 2 lots, I think. 581, yeah, 582. So it's 2 lots on West Glen Oak or on West Glen Oak in Holiday Beach on the west side. And this particular account has a $100 house on it, which is just
We're doing 2077 or 78 first?
am I on the wrong account?
Yeah, 77 is just the land.
Sorry.
No worries.
Let me go to 20. Which one should I be on? 77?
Yes. 7, yes.
Fair enough. It's going to be in the same place, but
Yeah,
it's going to be
across the street.
it's going to not have the house, right? Okay. Sorry about that. So this is a single lot that has a funky shape to it. It's like got an angle to it. All right. So now we're going to look at sales. The lot itself is 11,916 square feet. So comp number 1 is a 10,000 square foot lot, sold in March of 2021 for 16,9. Comp number 2 is a 10,000 square foot lot, sold in November for 18,000. And comp number 3 is a 10,000 square foot lot, sold in September for 18,000. $17,000 on, oh wait, my system is, this thing is acting up on me here. $21,000 is the median value for this land, although the district doesn't believe that the land is worth $21,000.
On the first page.
So it says here on your evidence ready, you have a 60% adjustment for lowland, so it's already adjusted.
Let me make sure in the account that that's right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a 60% adjustment in this account. Apparently, we knew or have known in the past that it floods.
Floods. Okay.
That's correct. And let me see if we go up. We did go up this year. Lots have sold pretty well in Holiday Beach, more my tablet is restarting.
Okay.
More than they have in the past, so we raised the value. Those 3 sales over 15,000. It's quite a bit more than they used to sell for. I don't even think we got to it, to be honest with you. I think we got to 11.5. So we're on a 10,000 square foot lot, we're at 11.5. We have 3 that sold north of 15.
Okay.
We're just wary of it. We're concerned. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes to ask Ray any questions or cross-examine him, and then 5 minutes for your presentation, so I'll give you 7 minutes all total.
Okay, so the comparison properties are in low-lying flood areas as well.
I think that to answer that question 2 ways. One is most of Holiday Beach floods. Lots of Holiday Beach floods.
It depends on where you're at in
It
Holiday.
does. It's a big piece of area, but it's really a big salt flat. And there's a lot of areas that go under.
It's also an area where the drainage systems are poorly engineered.
Yes,
If they're
I agree
engineered
with
at
that.
all.
But I don't know, on each of these individual lots. I don't know any details about it other than they sold. I'm not gonna, so I don't want to say that I do. You can use the number system to figure out how far away they are from you. You know, like you're at the 500 block, the first comp is at the 100 block, the second comp is at the 200 block, and the third comp is at the 300 block.
Okay, so we don't know whether they're in flood areas or not,
I'm
but
not
we do
gonna
know
say.
that my property is.
And I know that we've adjusted your property.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I know those things to be true.
I just would want to say, I think it's anything you compare it to is an unfair comparison. If it's not in the same, whether you've adjusted it or not, it's an unfair comparison, I think, in the appraisal values. So just saying that, I don't really have any more questions. As far as presenting my case goes, you know, the last year's appraisal value was 5720. This year's was 8220. It's an increase of 43.7%. I just think that's an unreasonable rate to increase something. That's, you know, almost half of the value of it. You know, if that were to go on, I mean, just the possibility of that being exponential over the years kind of frightens me. And we're just talking about that one particular property right now. We're going to talk about these separately. Okay. All right. You know, as I stated before, you know, there, and I don't know if anybody's aware, but that particular area, there was an extremely catastrophic event back during Harvey where several houses were just vanished from the face of the earth. And I would say the flooding was probably 6 to 7 feet high. So it depressed the land even more than it already was. My parents had owned that property since the mid 80s. It flooded with high tides and heavy rain back then. So it's not only during a rain situation that it floods, it's any time that tide gets extremely high or gets pushed in by the pressure of a storm in the Gulf or something of that nature. It covers the street, it's dirt road on that street, completely fills the lot, the area is inundated. That lot over there, particularly, nothing's ever been built on it or nothing's ever been done with it really. But after the storm, you know, there was 6 feet of salt grass and prickly pear cactus out there that kind of had to be removed. And so it's worse off than it was before. On that property, I mean, it's just, it was something, when it was purchased, we didn't realize it was in an area that do that. You know, that was in the early 90s that it was purchased, I believe, maybe the late 80s. And there was a decade of droughts and El Niños. And, you know, it was just a kind of atmospheric events that we would have had no idea that it would have turned out to be like it is now. So you know, I'm not familiar with the metrics that are used to arrive on these calculations. I didn't see that in the paperwork there, and I'm not completely familiar with how those are arrived at, but the metric of a raise of 43.7% in 1 year, I can look at and call that unreasonable. That's all.
Ray, you got 4 minutes for cross-examining and rebuttal.
The unreasonable of it, you know, if it's, it really passes up the appraisal district. If it's unreasonable and it goes to the state legislature. So the way that things are set up right now, if a property is not homesteaded, there is no limitation on increase. So it could go up 40%, go up 2,000%. And there's literally nothing that a homeowner can do other than come in here, or a landowner can do, other than come in here and say that it's unreasonable. There's not a tool in here that's limited, that's limiting an appraisal district from doing anything other than marching to market value. And even on a homestead property, you still march to market value. It's just there's a limitation on the assessed value. But there's not a thing that stops this. We've adjusted the account to 60% good. I don't really know what else. I don't know what else to do with the account. I don't know what else to do. So I think that there is a thing where as the land value in Holiday Beach increases, the people who hold land in Holiday Beach we'll begin to sell it because it will become annoying to have to pay taxes on it. And in the past, it was low and it was not annoying, so you could hold it for quite a while. That's all I have.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, sir, you have 2 minutes to rebut.
Well, that doesn't come from me in any capacity whatsoever to know that there's nothing I can do about it. And it could be raised exponentially to whatever it's supposed to be. Fortunately, as good and fair men, I think we can know what's reasonable and what's not reasonable. You know, I mean, and I understand why you're saying that and what you're saying that as far as the limitations on what you do go, but or what you're saying. But you know, the notice I received is from the appraisal district for the appraisal value, not from the state of Texas or the comptroller or anybody else. You know, so that's why I'm here arguing it with you, and not you know, I'm not deferring my responsibilities to anybody else on this. They're mine, and so I. You know, in repeating what I said earlier about that property, it's just in a low-lying area, and to tell me that, well, I'm going to be so burdened by the taxes at some point in the future I might sell it, it's really uncomforting, you know, because that's, you know, that's not the reason people invest in things like that, you know, and you know, I'm in a particularly weird situation, you know, and I also feel like these situations should be addressed more specifically than they are, and we kind of discussed that the other day. You know, these, you know, the whole thing about, you know, ranges and trends and banding things together like that. That makes me uncomfortable. And you even yourself told me that at home you would find a logical argument, but you can't come up here and find a logical argument. You know, so
Try to keep my license.
well, which I understand, but so my argument's fair on all this, and logical, you know, so there it is.
Okay, Ray, you got a minute?
So whenever I said that it could get annoying to hold it because the taxes go up and you have to make a decision, there is a part of real estate where it's like an investment, and the cost to hold something is actually a thing. And I didn't say that I like it, but I'm saying that I see it a lot, where people are driven to a point where this becomes like a burden, and I can't just do this forever. And what I'm saying that in unison with, I'm not passing the buck to the state. I'm saying that we're just going to market value. And in one case, if there's a homestead, the state says go to market value, but the state will intercede and keep the assessed value lower. They've never made that decision on the other side, where there's not a homesteaded property. So I don't have a tool to deal with 43%. Or 100%. I just don't have a thing to deal with that. So I don't know what to do in this account. Obviously, if that 60% wasn't there, I would know what to do.
Yeah.
We would go to some number.
Right.
But it's already there. So now I'm just I'm not sure what to say, how to get this lower.
Okay, sir, you have another minute to add any final thoughts?
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to think in the long term here of how this can exponentially grow into something that's really ridiculous. You know, to me that's already ridiculous. But you know, waiting and not taking some form of action about it right now would be a fool's errand. And so that, you know, I understand that. And I wasn't insinuating in any way that you like it. I was just responding to your statement.
I know you're not.
So,
I understand.
So, you know, I don't, you know, I think I'm presenting a logical argument and my request for fairness, like I said, without knowing, you know, and I'm sure hopefully there's some form of transparency on the metrics that you arrive at these conclusions that I can find somewhere so I can understand it better, but I'm not sure exactly where that might be right now. So, you know, I'm learning a lot about the system right now. That's what I'm doing, and I will be a good student from here on out.
So is our time. And basically the process is one of, and this is where Ray's comment about the state, is using, they have to appraise at market value. So market value is what are things selling for? And then there are mechanisms to adjust based on on equity, which is, because market value is, you get people that come from California and spend $1 million for a lot that you wouldn't pay 10,000 for. Equity is how you compare against your neighbors or things, considering other things in the general area. So that's kind of the process.
Is it a dirt road? The house is on a dirt road?
Yes, sir. It looks like they're in the process of making it a paved road.
It is-
Occurred yet.
On January 1st, it's on a dirt road. Is that being considered? I unfortunately, we don't have
In
the broadcast
Holiday-
thing
In
anymore. So
Holiday Beach, we don't have a dirt road adjustment. Nobody cares. They pay the same amount of money. It just,
And people have paid
yeah.
$16,915.
We've tried to extrapolate that out before.
$18,000.
yeah, I get all that.
You know, for these
I get all that.
very similar lots.
60% good, that's my question. Is it 60% good or 60% bad?
60% good.
It's not 60% good, but okay. All right.
I'm not seeing anything here.
Not on this account, the next one, we're gonna have some
Maybe, but-
discussions. Okay.
So the photograph, wait a second. The photograph that I'm looking at under the taxpayer evidence, I see that the first picture is underneath what was a house. But there's also a picture of a flooded, empty lot
Yeah.
with a house off in the distance.
That's the one that says lot 584.
I put some text on the back of them. I didn't.
Yeah, that's the account we're on. It's lot 584.
Okay, so,
In the distance, there's like a blue house.
Yeah.
This photo is from Glen Oak onto that lot itself.
got it, yeah.
And then I have one more that was, that shows a house in the distance.
So on this one, it kind of looks like,
Yeah, this is from the street itself, in the middle of the street.
His lot, his neighbor's lot. These pictures, you look, there's 2 or 3 lots, you know, kind of in every direction that are all.
No, these are
flooded.
specific. This is specifically that lot.
yes.
Okay.
This is directly that lot. This is specifically and directly that lot. The other pictures I have are specifically and directly of the other 2 lots. So I'm not, I mean, they might be in the periphery, but they're not the focus of the photo.
I'm not seeing the 60%.
But when it's all water, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I'm seeing a 30% good lot or less. It's gonna take massive truckloads of something to fill to bring it up to buildable,
But
if you want a driveway.
Unfortunately, that's Holiday Beach.
No, I get that.
It's not all
I
of
fully,
it.
I fully understand that
Just
there are
that
sections.
particular area.
Yeah, and that particular area should be considered differently.
His assessed value is less than half of what these lots are selling for.
These lots being
The
in
sales-
other sections.
The sales comps,
They're
they're just down the
flood- they're in
street.
flood.
They're not in his, they're not in his. Does Holiday Beach call them, what do
You can put the flood layer on your map if you want and see, compare them. You know, you have that ability.
Yeah.
If you want to compare it.
I'm having a hard time just getting out of it. Okay, there we go.
Yes. Yes, now I know.
Have you ever done the ancestry thing?
So Scott, is there an easy
Is it,
thing for the,
Pieces of paper up in the right-hand corner.
yes, I see that.
Click on that.
Flood plan, floodplain?
Correct.
Okay.
NESS, it's
Yeah,
it's a
put a
derivative
line.
of like a Norwegian.
That goes around that. It includes most of that triangle that is that section where all of these comes from.
What is it? MAGNUS?
Correct.
There's a same
Yeah.
area or is that?
The whole place is in the floodplain, right?
Does that spelling change everything?
It was a derivative of
I mean,
that.
you gotta
stuff.
zoom way out to even get to where you can see part of it.
From Norway to Scotland to England.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so,
But like your parents, grandparents,
Most built at NESS.
Yeah.
Which is.
I'm not seeing anything here.
yeah, I think
I'm
so.
not
The
either.
whole place
From
is
the
in a
same
floodplain.
original NUS, which is
Yeah.
Scandinavian.
People are
Yeah.
paying $16,000 to $18,000 for lots that are in a floodplain.
Sometimes people that.
I mean, if you look, and we didn't zoom out far enough,
They
but,
have, basically, there's a lot
I
of.
mean, that's,
There's not a lot of intermingling.
you know,
So when they trace themselves, they get back to mother country.
the floodplain line is way
There's not a
over
lot
here.
of,
So all of
You
it's,
know.
I understand the
all-
same thing,
it's
although
all
mine, I
areas.
think there was no lifeguard at the gene pool.
we're not debating that it does, it's just.
Okay.
Okay. I wish it was, I mean, the 60% is a help.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what else to do. So on this particular case, 2021-2077, account 22611, with respect to incorrect appraised market value, I move that we keep the 2021 appraised value at $8,220.
Second? Not from me. Okay, I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye. And one opposed.
Okay, let the record show 2 for and 1 opposed. All right, so we'll close that hearing and we'll open up a hearing on case ID 2021-2078, count number 22609. I guess once again, your Q1, right, for the
Yeah, it's the same.
market value.
The same on both. yeah.
Okay. All right. Would you like to go first or would you like the district to go
You all,
first?
please.
Okay.
So this is right across the street, right?
Yes, sir.
Right across the street. I'm gonna go quick. We
I'm with a
went,
slight angle.
yeah, right. We went through the cells already. I'm gonna say that the cells are gonna give you a number of 17,000, and the reason that that's different is because this lot is actually a little bit smaller than the other lot. Even though it's 2 lots, the other lot was like 1,000 square feet bigger, but it has to do with the way that it's platted. There's an angle, which just creates more square
10,000.
footage. Not necessarily more usable square footage, but we do not have a flood adjustment on this one. When you look at the card, you'll see adjustment
Right.
1, mass adjustment 1, which is saying 100.
Right.
It's just 100%. There's no adjustment built into this account whatsoever, and that's all I have to say. Oh, there's a damaged house on it.
Right.
$100, I think is what we have.
Okay, that's just basically a placeholder.
It is.
Okay.
Okay, you have 2 minutes to ask any questions and 5 minutes to present, although it may be a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna repeat ourselves
Yeah.
here. So the comparisons you're making have damaged structures or concrete slabs on them, anything of that nature?
No.
Are they in floodplains?
That I want to be careful. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't looked at these individual. They could be, they may not be.
Right, well, that's kind of the criteria that I'm making most of my argument on, so. The area is poor drainage, floods regularly. Well, I'm not making a statement here, I'm just cross-examining you, I guess. Yeah, I think they're unfair comparisons, once again. Unless your criteria is something that has the same characteristics, then you can't make a fair comparison.
Anything else from the moment?
No, sir.
Okay, Ray, you have 4 minutes. Okay, and no closing either when we get to it, okay? So you've got 2 minutes additional and another minute for closing if you need it.
Okay, well, at the risk of repeating myself some more, the area floods, has poor drainage, has dirt road. The structure that's on it isn't a house. It is basically the substructure of a house that I raised down to the point that the county found acceptable. So it is pilings that I've attempted to see if I can get an engineer to certify to rebuild on. I can't find anybody that will sign off on it. I doubt if I will be able to. There's an enormous amount of concrete poured underneath it. Anything that I'm going to have to do to this thing is probably going to require the removal of most of that stuff. So I kind of shudder to think of what the expense of that might be at this point, because I'm still just trying to put things back together from Harvey. But at the same time, you know, its problems are the same as the other property. It's in the exact same area, has the exact same issues, and I also feel the raise in that was 43%, basically the same as the other one, up 35 from 51, or I'm sorry, from $8,100 to 11,600, $3,500 rise in the value, 43.2%. I think that's just an unfair escalation. I think it would be more appropriate if things were just a little more metered in their escalation. I'm bothered by the statements the gentleman made about this, the state being able to raise things to whatever they want to, unless our inability to do anything about it. But at the same time, I feel like the area that is specifically in is a specifically difficult area. When it comes to the sale of houses in Holiday Beach, you made a fair statement about somebody coming in from California and paying ridiculous prices. That happens all the time out there. There's not a for sale sign on every lot out there. There are some lots that people have probably sat on for years that they're trying to get their money back out of, and some are just asking unreasonable prices for them. And some people come along and pay it. And I feel like it's unfair that my taxes are a reflection of what the income of somebody else, basically, and their ability to buy things and build larger structures. It was a poor man's paradise when I moved there. I don't know that I have anything else to add to that I feel as if it should be reduced and not escalate so exponentially as that.
Okay. My suggestion is, well, first off, the $100 is just a pittance because, right, we can't take it completely out. But I would put the two properties in the same basic value, the same parameters. So in other words, make that 60% good, or basically it adjusts the unit price to 69 cents a foot, which would take the land value down to $6,900 plus the $100 for the improvement. Gives us a total of $7,000. That's my suggestion.
I'd go for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move on. Case number 2021-2078, account number 22609. With respect to Q1, incorrect appraised market value, and Q5 other, which are items that we've previously discussed, that we lower the 2021 appraised value from $11,600 to $7,000.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Okay,
Yes, sir.
you bet.
I'll be better next year.
That's all you can do.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Scott, you get that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
$7,000.
Did y'all say that was it? Didn't she say?
That's it.
Oh, is that it?
That's it for the day.
For the day.
Happy birthday.
Happy
I
birthday,
really
Scott.
wanted to ask that guy, why do you keep these lots?
So
So you know y'all are still in hearing.
Yes,
If
I know.
anyone's here.
Oh, we need to adjourn. I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.